This is Atomic Shinobi and today I'm going to narrate what if Naruto lost his chakra and became a duelist. If you enjoy this video, please like, share and subscribe to this channel. Now wasting no more time, let's start the story.
Naruto sighed as he approached the stadium where the tests were being held, thinking, this should be easy enough. In order to gain admission to the Duel Academy, the former shinobi was currently getting ready for the dueling section of the exam. He had come to this point in his life through a very unusual turn of events. In a last, minute act of retaliation, Kagaya opened a doorway and pulled Naruto and Sasuke through into an unfamiliar world just as he and Sasuke had completed rescuing the shinobi world. The most peculiar aspect was that Naruto had lost all of his ninjutsu abilities and had reverted to his 7-year-old self. The two had been separated when they first arrived. The fact that he was unable to create any clones or even call forth a toad to help him understand what had happened had driven the blonde crazy, but he had chosen to make the most of it, particularly after his adopted father took him in while being fully aware of the blonde's true identity and enrolling him in Duel Academy. When Naruto arrived at the booth, he promptly registered and was told that he would probably be the last person there today. As soon as the woman finished speaking, a young boy with brown hair climbed up the fence on the side of the cliff and grinned broadly, stating that he was also there to take the test. Smiling, Naruto said, "Running late, huh?" The boy laughed and said, "Yeah, his name was Jaden Yuki." As he shook Jaden's hand, Naruto nodded and said, "Naruto Uzumaki." He had a long-standing, reliable instinct that this boy had a lot of potential. As soon as the two entered, Naruto noticed that a duel was in progress, albeit it was almost over. He smirked when the Ring of Destruction spell destroyed his own Vorse Raider, allowing him to win the duel, and he also noticed the glimmer of the trap card. As a shorter boy with pale blue hair leapt, Naruto confessed, "Clever." Jaden smiled and said, "Yeah, can't wait for my turn." The boy said, That was the last one." "What?" cried Jaden. "Then we have a problem," Naruto murmured, "since we both registered just before the deadline." "Will Naruto Uzumaki please report to Dueling Field 3, Naruto Uzumaki Dueling Field 3. "Will Jaden Yuki please report to Dueling Field 1, Jaden Yuki Dueling Field 1, exclaimed the announcer. As they descended to their respective fields, the two nodded, and Naruto saw his proctor. In a tone that suggested he didn't think it was likely, the proctor said, "Okay, Mr. Uzumaki, try your hardest to beat me here." The blonde said, "It's Naruto." He took out his deck and put it into his orange duel disc after opening the case on his right leg. The two yelled, "Duel," as their discs came on. Fourth-year Academy student Zane Truesdale watched the two duels from the upper stands, but his attention was captured by the blonde who exuded such confidence that he was willing to wager that he would prove to be a formidable opponent in the future. With his burnt orange shirt, red trench coat with a black flame design on the bottom, and black pants with orange trim on the cuffs, he was sure that his attire was enough to attract attention as he saw several of the Academy's girls staring at him. Alexis Rhodes, who was standing next to him, noticed which way his eyes were focused and asked, "He's strong?" The girl was shocked by Zane's admission that someone would be strong without seeing their deck, potentially. "I'll start by summoning out the Gemini Elf, 1980-900 def, in attack mode. Next, I activate the equip spell the Axe of Despair, increasing my Gemini Elf's attack to 2900. On his side of the field, two elves that most people would consider beautiful appeared, followed by an axe that Naruto knew would hurt if it made a solid hit in the hands of the blonde elf. "I'll play one card face down and end my turn," the proctor exclaimed, drawing his card and grinning at his hand. "LP Proctor. 4000 Naruto LP. 4000." As he pulled out his card, Naruto simply nodded and grinned at what he was holding and how he could complete it in a single turn. Naruto said, "It's over for you." The students mumbled various things as they heard this. Naruto then started his turn. "I'll start by activating my spell card Jiraiya's Research. This handy little spell reveals all face-down cards in your spell trap card zone and destroys all trap cards." Naruto's card appeared, showing an older white-haired man looking towards the proctor with a telescope. His face-down card turned out to be a Mirror Force card, which was destroyed. Next up I summon out Konoha Genin, Naruto Uzumaki, 1580-1000 def, to the field. In a flash of light, the shinobi Naruto from his early days emerged on the field, standing there in his orange jumpsuit and grinning arrogantly. But he won't be sticking around long. I tribute him to special summon out Konoha Toad Sage, Naruto Uzumaki, 2780-2000 def. The young Naruto vanished, and in his place was a different Naruto, dressed in a different orange jumpsuit underneath the same coat that the dueling Naruto was wearing. The orange surrounding his toad, Like yellow eyes was the most startling aspect for those observing closely or on the monitors. In twin flashes of light, Naruto's birth parents stood on either side of the sage version of himself. But I'm not done yet, because with a Naruto Uzumaki card on the field I can special summon out Konoha Yandaime Hokage, Minato Namikaze, 2880-2500 def, and Konoha Jinchuruki, Kushina Uzumaki, 2780-2300 def. Nice work, but none of those cards are strong enough to destroy my Gemini elf, the examiner stated. Naruto smiled and said, not finished yet. You see, Kushina has a very nice effect. She gains 380 for EACN Naruto Uzumaki and Minato Namikaze card on the field. As Kushina's attack increased to 3,300, a blue aura began to surround her. Now let's end this. Kushina, attack the Gemini elf. Chains of restraint. Kushina charged forward, and her blue aura transformed into multiple chains that encircled and crushed the Gemini elf. LP Proctor. 3,600 Naruto LP. 4,000 in one motion. The taller blonde threw a kunai that narrowly missed the Proctor, but not before Minato vanished in a flash of yellow and materialized over him holding a glowing blue sphere, which he rammed into the Proctor, eliciting a cry of shock and pain. Now Minato, attack him directly, Hiraishin. LP Proctor. 900 Naruto LP. 4,000 as the monster form of Naruto created his jutsu and hurled it at the Proctor, where it exploded and eliminated the remaining life points of his opponent. Naruto yelled, now Naruto end this. Rasen Shuriken. Game, set, match. As he got up and approached the blonde, shaking his hand, the Proctor smiled and said, you really surprised me there. Never seen those cards before. Winner Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto answered, custom deck. All of them are. All of them? Inquired the Proctor. As he began to head out to find his dorm, Naruto responded, I have 8 different decks that I use. Good game. The Proctor nodded and made sure to submit the results, saying, good game. As the duel came to an end, Zane nodded and said, impressive, his opponent didn't stand a chance. Alexis mumbled in disbelief, one shot at him. That's insane, no freshman has defeated their opponent in one turn since you. As he returned his attention to Jaiden's duel, Zane concurred, Naruto Uzumaki is going to be one to watch out for. Even though Jaiden's took a lot longer than Naruto's, he was at a significant disadvantage against Crowler's Ancient Gear Golem and up against a much stronger deck. The youth's use of his elemental hero Flame Wingman to destroy the golem and turn a losing situation into a victory was the only thing that made Naruto smile in the end. Naruto called down to Jaiden, who was rising with a smile on his face, and said, not bad. He laughed and said, I did great, you win? Nodding, Naruto said, one turn, KO. Wow, you get lucky? As they approached to receive their dorm assignments, Naruto grinned and said, just the way my deck flows. Naruto scowled when he was given a blue blazer and Jaiden was given a red one. Naruto questioned, why is he in red? The man behind the desk clarified, even though he did a great job on his practical exam, he didn't score nearly high enough to be placed in raw yellow just yet. Jaiden inquired, so how do you get into blue? Prep school is usually required. The individual clarified, though with proper recommendations you can bypass that and be placed in obelisk blue. So we aren't in the same dorm. Naruto sighed. We are in the same year so we will likely see each other around. Jaiden nodded and said, you bet, we definitely have to have a duel. Naruto grinned and took the jacket before leaving, but not before noticing the winged brown furball on Jaiden's shoulder and mentally noting that he should look out for more like it. We'll see. They may know how to return to his dimension because, after all, they were from a different one. With practiced ease, Naruto's eyes swept across the island that would temporarily serve as his new home. The island was sufficiently big, with forests on some of its sides and a sizable volcano that the school was tucked up against. The school probably used the magma to power itself. Hundreds of students from different years were on board the ship that was transporting them to the academy. They were all separated into 3 dormitories. Obelisk Blue, Raw Yellow, and Slifer Red. After finishing his survey of the island, Naruto turned back to the other pupils and started identifying who had powerful decks, who had gained their position through strong influence, and who had been placed in their current position because they had offended a higher up in the school. Jaiden shouted, "Hey Naruto," as he made his way through the throng to the young man with the blonde and light blue hair. Jaiden. Naruto grinned and nodded. Jaiden questioned, "Ready for the school year?" Looking forward to seeing what some of these duelists can do. Naruto said, "I've only met a handful of people that can give me a challenge and I am hoping that this school will change that." The boy with the blue hair questioned, "Is your deck that strong?" Naruto laughed sheepishly and said, All of them are. I never got your name. He replied, I'm Cyrus Truesdale. Naruto nodded as he examined him with an evaluating eye, recognizing his potential but also recognizing how his own insecurities and fear were compromising his skills. Jaden inquired, how many decks do you have? Naruto responded, causing the two boys to blink in surprise, 8 of them. 8. Yeah. Each deck is different, and if I know what my opponent is using I can use a deck that counteracts theirs. Or I sometimes switch up my deck for the fun of it. Naruto responded. However, Cyrus questioned, why so many though? That is a secret. Naruto laughed, but each one has its own style and own flow. The one I used in my admittance duel is my favorite though. Jaden chuckled and said, sweet, we have got to have a duel when we get there. We have the opening ceremonies to attend, and then we have to go to our dorms and get our schedules. If we have time after that, I'll come find you, Naruto said, eliciting a moan of disappointment from the brown-haired duelist. Jaden gave this a nod, and the three of them turned back to face the island, oblivious to the murmurs coming from behind. One student in the blue dorm muttered, what's an obelisk blue doing hanging out with those slifer slackers? Another whispered, likely got his place in that dorm because of his parents. A girl whispered to her friends, what a weird guy, hanging out with the bottom of the barrel. Another blue said, yeah, if he's going to go slumming, he could at least start talking to some raw yellows. Since he also had a knack for talent and didn't give a damn about the dorm they were in, Zane was the only student who didn't comment on Naruto standing and conversing with Jaden and Cyrus. He simply nodded his head. After the opening ceremonies ended that evening, the students went to their dorms, and Naruto simply shook his head and stared at the obelisk blue dorm. Observing that Naruto had halted upon seeing the building, Alexis approached him and inquired, something wrong? Naruto sighed and resumed his walk, saying, just stunned at the stupidity of this. Stupidity? Alexis exclaimed, startled. Naruto replied, yeah, the segregation here is repulsive. What segregation? The dorms are separated by ability. No they aren't. Naruto replied calmly. Jaden Yuki for example is an exemplary duelist, though lacks in the academic area. His dueling skills alone would put him on par with most of the pro duelists in the minor circuits, since he managed to defeat one of the professors at this school, and yet he is sent to Slifer Red, the worst dorm in the school because he beat said professor. And from what I have seen, most of the obelisk blue students are not as impressive as they would like you to think that they are. Their decks are likely to be beaten by your average raw yellow, but they are here because of who their parents are. His summary left Alexis speechless. This freshman, who lived in the school's best dorm, was irritated that the other dorms received worse treatment than he did. It would not take long to demonstrate that he was going to be the dorm's black sheep. They were shown to their rooms and given their schedules in a short amount of time. Eyeing his room, Naruto tossed his bag onto his bed and muttered to himself. It was bigger than anything he was used to, and based on his estimations, he could easily fit his previous apartment in it. Naruto felt irritated that there wasn't a single bit of orange in the room, which was entirely decorated in blues, golds, and whites. While waiting for his roommate to finally enter the room, Naruto shrugged and began unpacking, whispering to himself, wonder if I could repaint? Naruto heard the door open after he was done, and he saw his roommate come in, walking with all the cockiness in the world. Naruto frowned as he took him in and blinked in mild surprise that he had the potential to be strong but had not yet received his deck. So you're my roommate? He asked. As he put his bag down, he said, that's right, I'm Chaz Princeton. Naruto Uzumaki. I know who you are. You're the kid that one-shotted his test proctor and been hanging out with those Slifer slackers. Chaz laughed. You're wasting your time with those losers. They aren't losers. Naruto responded, Jaden beat Crowler, which is more than most students in this dorm can say. Lucky break. As he sat on his bed, Naruto grinned and said, take it from me, luck plays as much a role as talent and deck design. Luck is a part of this game. As he began packing away his belongings, Chaz snorted, HMPH, whatever, you'll see soon enough that those guys are worthless. Naruto leaned back on his bed and closed his eyes, saying, I doubt it. He then said, wake me up when it's time for dinner. Chaz yelled, what do I look like, your butler? No, you were way too noisy for that. Naruto replied, more like a pet that I never wanted. Say that again, punk. Chaz was about to try to punch the blonde with the sharp tongue when Naruto smirked and asked, you deaf or something? Naruto closed his eyes and relaxed as much as any shinobi could have while maintaining the smirk. After several hours, he heard Chaz muttering to himself as he kicked Naruto's bed to wake him up. The blonde just sat up and began getting ready. He answered, you've got 5 minutes before dinner. Naruto nodded as he changed into his new clothes and made his way to the door. "You coming?" he asked. "Plenty of time, thanks." Uncertain of why, Chaz blinked at this and suppressed the urge to strike this obnoxious blonde. Naruto sat down near the end of the table, next to Zane, who nodded to him as he sat as far away from Chaz and Crowler as he could after they had gone downstairs. Zane inquired, "Enjoying yourself?" "And Crowler gives me the creeps." Naruto calmly retorted, "I want to throw my roommate out of a window." "Better call him Professor Crowler if you want to stay out of trouble," Zane cautioned him. "That sounds boring." Naruto sighed. "More fun to live like I want and piss off the egomaniacs along the way." "So most of this dorm?" "Exactly." As they began to serve their plates and begin eating, Zane simply grinned at the comment. "I heard you say that your deck was custom made." "It is. Specially designed by Industrial Illusions." "That must have cost quite a bit." "You have no idea. Dad went all out for me though." "So you come from a rich family?" "Adopted." Naruto answered, "I'm technically an orphan." To Naruto's surprise, Zane seemed to mean it when he said, "Sorry to hear that." "It's fine. I know who they are and I know that they would be proud of me, so I hear you are the best duelist in this school." Zane smiled and said, "I am. Though I think that title may be yours once I leave. With some of the kids in my class, I think that I might have a run for my money." Naruto laughed. "Oh, who do you think might be able to beat you?" "Jaden Yuki has some serious potential, though I haven't dueled him myself so I can't say for certain. Your brother could be a contender too if he stops wallowing in self-pity and gets his rear in gear. Alexis seems to be a strong competitor, but until I duel her I can't say that for certain. Until that point I need to see some of these others duel before I come to any decisions." Zane simply nodded in agreement with Naruto's assessment, stating that he shared his feelings about Jaden. His belief that his brother could threaten him was the only thing that caught him off guard. Although Cyrus was a skilled duelist, he lacked the complete confidence necessary to prevail. Before they heard Crowler calling down to them, the two were absorbed in idle chatter. "I see you've taken one of our freshmen under your wing, Zane." Crowler laughed. "Seems fitting that the best attracts the best." "I am not the best yet," calmly responded Naruto. "I am good, but I know my decks backwards and forwards. It gives me a much better advantage than most duelists here." "Is that so? Any duelist should know their decks like that." "Perhaps, but I am willing to bet you that almost every student in this school doesn't. They're here to learn and that also means learning the deck that is best for them. My decks are custom jobs and that is why they're best for me." "Custom decks? Made by who?" "Industrial Illusions," Naruto said. "It cost a lot, but in the end I never clicked with any other type of deck, despite every effort to otherwise." At this, Crowler nodded and appeared to be considering the question, "And they are legal cards?" "Yes, though I own the only copies in existence." "Then perhaps you would like to see what they could really do." "I know what they can do. I know them backwards and forwards." Naruto continued, "But if that is a challenge, Professor Crowler, then I am willing to accept." "A teacher dueling one of his students would be unbecoming." Crowler calmly responded, "Perhaps one of our other students would be willing to test themselves against you." As he looked around the table and waited for someone to approach him, Naruto grinned. However, nearly all of them looked away from him when he looked at them, suggesting that no one was willing to do so. They were unsure, but there was something about the blonde that made them uneasy, as if he was ready to ruin them if they agreed to a duel. A few moments later, Crowler sighed and said something. Crowler got up and said, "Since none of your roommates want to face you right now, I will indulge you in a duel." Naruto got to his feet and asked, "Are we going to play on a table or do we want to use duel discs?" As Naruto nodded and they both went to retrieve their duel discs, Crowler responded, "Duel discs, of course. I want your other classmates to see this. Consider it a teaching demonstration." After 10 minutes, the two were outside, facing each other in a composed manner while drawing their opening hands and activating their duel discs. After drawing his 6th card, Crowler declared, "I will take the first move." He played 2 cards face down before calling forth his ancient gear soldier, Adik. 1400 def. 1300 in defense mode. Crowler LP. 4000 Naruto LP. 4000 Naruto drew his 6th card and nodded at his hand, saying, "My draw." The scene changed from the night outside the obelisk dormitory to the streets of Konoha from Naruto's youth. "I'll start by activating my field spell Konohagakure no Sato," Naruto said. "This will increase the attacks of all Konoha monsters by 500 points as well as reduce summoning costs by 1. Next I'll summon Konoha Jonin. Neji Hyuga. Adik. 2200 def. 2100, in attack mode where he now receives his bonus. Adik. 2700. Let's clear out the trash. Neji attacked the ancient gear soldier, 60. 4-palm strike. Neji struck, unleashing the onslaught upon the ancient gear soldier, who soon collapsed into a heap of debris, as he moved with the predatory grace and the symbol of the 8 trigrams appeared beneath him. LP Crowler. 2600 Naruto LP. 4000. I'll end my turn there. Naruto replied as Crowler nodded and made his draw. Well played, young man. However, here is where the game changes. I'll activate the Heavy Storm spell card to destroy all spell and trap cards on the field, removing your field spell and my 2 Statue of the Wicked cards. Now that I have 2 tokens out, I sacrifice them to summon my Ancient Gear Golem. 3080 3000 def. Now destroy Neji Hyuga my Golem, Ancient Gear Fist. As Neji changed into a different stance and spun around to avoid the attack, Naruto smiled and said, "Not quite, Professor. Neji, rotation." "What?" cried Crowler, startled. As Crowler scowled, Naruto clarified, "Once per turn Neji can negate a single attack targeting him." "Very well then. I will end my turn there." LP Crowler. 2600. Naruto LP. 4000. My draw. Naruto nodded as he drew and nodded his head at his draw. I'll summon out Konoha Chunin. Rock Lee. 1980 1200 def. In attack mode and equip him with the spell card 8 Inner Gates. This will increase his attack by 500 points and give him damage piercing abilities as well. The green spandex with bushy brows appeared next to Neji, instantly giving Crowler the "nice guy" pose before the equip card's effect caused his skin to turn red and his eyes to turn white. Naruto concluded as he set the card. As he began his turn, Crowler cautioned, "Now my Golem, destroy Rock Lee. Quantity isn't enough to stop my Golem, Mr. Uzumaki." As he watched the Ancient Gear Golem strike Lee, Naruto accepted Lee's defeat with composure. LP Crowler. 2600 Naruto LP. 3400 with a broad smile. Naruto started his turn after drawing his next card. Game over. I'll start by activating my spell card Will of Fire. Naruto began as the face-down card activated, revealing an image of the Konoha symbol with the Konoha in the background. This card allows me to either add 1 card with Konoha in its name from my graveyard to my deck to my hand, or from my hand to the field. So I'll be special summoning out something with a lot more muscle. Allow me to introduce Konoha Jonin, Miyato Guy, 2880 2500 def. The older green spandex shinobi appeared in the same fashion as Lee and Naruto soon continued, and this is where things get good. I'll equip him with the Gate of Death equip card. Much like the 8 Gates card, this will give him an increase in attack points and damage piercing capabilities, but the key difference is the amount. Instead of a 500 attack increase, this card will double his attack. Guy then released a red mist around his body and gained the red skin and white eyes that Lee had earlier. Now then, let's end this game with a bang, Night Guy. Soon after, Guy was covered in a red dragon chakra coating that flickered as he charged the Ancient Gear Golem and kicked it with such force that everyone flinched from the shockwave it sent, sending the Ancient Gear Soldier flying as it vanished, and the backlash hit Crowler, reducing his life points to 0. Naruto nodded as he turned off the duel disc and looked around the crowd, taking in the students' shocked expressions after witnessing Crowler lose twice already to 2 different freshmen. Game, set, match. Zane nodded respectfully and said, "Impressive." In response, Alexis shook her head and said, "Only your Cyber End Dragon made with Power Bond would be stronger. That was insane." "Maybe, but I am willing to bet he would find a way to counter it. And I also am willing to bet that he could make that card even more powerful." "What makes you say that?" "His deck plays on itself, using other cards to increase the powers of each other. Look at his first duel when he managed to get 3 high-level monsters out onto the field in 1 turn. His deck is one that is tricky to stop if you don't overpower him quickly." Zane responded with calmness, "And that is only the first deck. He has 7 others that we haven't even seen yet. That is kind of worrying. What if they are all that tough?" As he turned to leave, Zane said, "Then we might be looking at the future king of games, following the older duelist." Alexis blinked at Zane's statement. Before he spoke, Naruto nodded to Crowler, who was still in disbelief that he had lost once more. At last, he said, "Well done. Of course I took it easy on you." "Sure you did." Naruto chuckled as he walked away, "And so did I." "WH. What?" yelled Crowler. "I had 2 possible routes to take on this one. I chose one that would be the simplest compared to one that was the fastest." "How is the fastest not the simplest?" With a final hand gesture, Naruto said, "I'll be calling it a night. See ya tomorrow, Professor." The faster version was to take control of all your monsters and destroy you with them. Naruto had been attending Duel Academy for a few weeks now, and his suspicions about the dorm's bias were beginning to hold water. The majority of the students were quite good, but those in the Slifer Red dorm were frequently verbally reprimanded if they were unable to provide an answer, whereas those in Obelisk Blue were free to do nearly anything you could think of. It goes without saying that Naruto was swiftly turning into a thorn in the sides of many educators because he was not afraid to expose their partiality. Not less in front of the class. Even though they suspected his involvement in each and every one of the pranks he played on them, they were never able to link them to him. As Naruto lay on the school's roof, Jaden grumbled, "Come on, we have to have a duel." Naruto laughed and said, "Nope. This right here, this is lazy time." From where he lay nearby, Chumley, a third-year Slifer Red student, concurred, "Can't argue that." Naruto said, "See? He's got the right idea. But you promised me a duel." Jaden replied, "Besides, I really want a chance to see one of those other decks that you have." "Is that right?" Naruto laughed. "Tell you what, the next time I get in a duel I will use a different deck and you can see it for yourself." "Sweet," chuckled Jaden. Jaden was sufficiently appeased by that to relax and take pleasure in the hooky day they were having. However, the promotion exams were the following day, and Chancellor Shepard stopped Naruto as he was making his way to the arena. He grinned and said, "Ah, Naruto. I wanted to talk to you." With a frown, Naruto questioned, "Why's that?" hoping he wouldn't be in trouble for the paint balloon he had set up over Crowler's door the previous evening. "I would like you to duel one of our raw yellows today," he said. Naruto replied, "Oh, sure. Who did you have in mind?" According to Shepard, Bastion Misawa. After a few moments, Naruto finally understood that he might be interesting, and he scowled as he attempted to match the name to a face. Naruto said, "Sure, I can face him." As he walked away, Shepard patted Naruto's shoulder and laughed, saying, "Excellent. I'll have you two set up near the end." As he waited for his turn, Naruto smirked and decided it would be a good idea to switch up the decks. Rather than reaching for his Konoha deck, he opened one of the other deck cases on his belt, this one with a light brown band around it, and put it in the duel disc. They were among the last groups to be brought up, and as they activated their duel discs, Naruto turned to face the freshman Ra, a smile playing at the corners of his mouth. Naruto drew his opening hand and nodded his head at it, responding, "First move is yours." As he drew and nodded his head at the opening hand, Bastion yelled, "If that is arrogance at work, then it will be your downfall. I'll start by summoning Bistro Butcher, 80, 1800 def, 1000 in attack mode, and playing a card face down, ending my turn. LP Bastion, 4000 Naruto LP, 4000." As he pulled out his card and smiled at his opening hand, Naruto said, "Not bad. But you're going to have to get creative to best me. I'll start by playing a monster face down and then one card face down. Your turn." LP Bastion, 4000 Naruto LP, 4000. As he drew, Bastion questioned, "Defensive? Not a good hand then?" "You'll just have to wait and see, won't you?" "I guess so. I'll summon out my Vorse Raider, 80, 1900 def, 1200 in attack mode. Now Vorse Raider, cut his monster down." When the card flipped and a familiar, if not frightening, sight materialized, a red-haired youth with a giant gourd on his back and a swirling wall of sand surrounding him. Naruto only smiled. Bastion was extremely perplexed by what transpired as the Vorse Raider swung his weapon at the wall of sand, which wrapped around him, crushed him, and then returned to its initial position. As Bastion blinked in surprise and saw his life points drop, Naruto responded, "Allow me to introduce you to Suna Genin. Gaara no Subaku, 80, 1500, def, 2300, and his special effect. Anytime Gaara is attacked with an attack that is lower than his defense, that monster gets destroyed." Bastion, who was already formulating a new strategy, declared, "I'll end my turn there." LP Bastion, 3600 Naruto LP, 4000. While Gaara raised his right hand towards Bastion on the field, he said, "This spell allows me to destroy one card you control for every Gaara no Subaku, Rasa, or Sandame Cage card on the field. So let's say goodbye to your face down card." Naruto said, "I draw." He looked at his hand and nodded to start his next turn. "I'll start by activating my spell card Desert Burial." After weighing his options, Bastion decided it would be better to lose the card rather than expose himself to Naruto's next move, so he let the sand crush his ring of destruction. "Oh, that could have been messy," Naruto acknowledged, "but you lost as soon as I made my draw." "What do you mean?" scowled Bastion. "Actions speak louder than words. So I first send Suna Genin, Gaara no Subaku, to the graveyard to special summon out Suna Godem Kazekage. Gaara no Subaku, 80. 2500, def. 3300, in attack mode. In a swirl of sand the young Gaara disappeared and his older counterpart stood there, calm and collected with his Kazakage hat hanging from the belt that also held his gourd. Next up I equip him with the spell Gold Dust, increasing his attack and defense by 700 points. 80. 3200, def. 4000. As the spell started Gaara's sand gained a golden quality to it, glittering in the light as it swirled. Finally I summon out Suna Anbu. Yashimaru. 80. 1900 def. 1000, which will reveal Gaara's new effect, increasing his attack by 300 points for every monster with Suna in its name. 80. 3500, def. 4000. As Gaara's uncle appeared next to him Gaara seemed to gain confidence and strength as his intent to destroy his opponent could be seen in his eyes. Now let's get started. Yashimaru, take down that bistro butcher. Bastion lost another 100 life points as Yashimaru merely reached to his side and launched a flurry of kunai into the blue-skinned fiend. LP Bastion. 3500 Naruto LP. 4000, now Gaara, finish him off. Sand Tsunami. Gaara merely scowled as he touched the ground, causing all of the sand to come out of his gourd and combine with the gold dust to form a massive wave that crashed down on Bastion, who was taken aback by Naruto's unexpected and powerful blow. LP for the Bastion. 0 Naruto LP. 4000 as he turned off the disc and approached Bastion, Naruto nodded and said, "Game, set, match. Good game." Bastion sighed and shook his head, saying, "Thanks, I didn't realize I was that outclassed. I was lucky to draw the Kazakage version of Gaara there. Otherwise that would likely have taken much longer," acknowledged Naruto. "So is Suna Godem Kazakage? Gaara no Subaku was your strongest card? You mentioned Rasa and Sandame Kazakage when you activated your Desert Burial card." "He is one of my strongest," Naruto acknowledged, "and those other two are pretty powerful themselves, but I have a few cards in here that can be pretty dangerous themselves." "Incredible. I thought I had you all figured out as a speed duelist. I hadn't realized that you had a deck with defensive capabilities like that." "I have a few different decks. Switch them up to keep from being predictable," Naruto clarified. As they began to depart, Bastion remarked, "I have a few decks too. What are your decks based on?" "Stories I used to tell," replied Naruto. "Each one tells a different part of the tale. Yours?" "Mine are based on the various elements. I was using my dark deck against you." "Ah. Dark monsters tend to have a lot of attack power behind them," Naruto thought, "but that comes with a downside at the same time." "Perhaps, but all cards have a weakness if you know what to look for." "True enough. My decks have weaknesses but it's exploiting them that is difficult." Naruto nodded. Although Naruto promised a rematch at a later time if he was interested, the two continued their friendly conversation for a few more minutes before parting ways for the day. Naruto sat on the roof of the obelisk dorm that night, wondering what had happened after the war and whether everyone was okay while his eyes were fixed on the sky and his thoughts drifted back to Konoha. He pondered whether they were released following Kaguya's defeat because the last time he had seen nearly everyone, they were imprisoned in the infinite Tsukiyomi. As Naruto turned to see Zane also approaching the roof, a voice asked, "Deep thoughts? What are you still doing up?" Naruto acknowledged, "Kind of." As he sat beside the blonde, Zane shrugged and asked, "What's your excuse? Couldn't sleep?" "Don't have one really. Just like coming up here I guess." The blonde gave Zane a startled look when he said, "Surprised you haven't set up a prank from up here." "How do you know it was me? I saw you set up that paint balloon over Professor Crowler's door. And you didn't rat me out. No, you're only targeting students and teachers that pick on any student that isn't in Obelisk Blue. I don't approve but I won't sell you out." Naruto smirked and said, "You're alright, you know that?" "If you say so." Zane laughed. "So why prank them? I hear from Alexis that you cause enough disruptions in class to make your point. Actions speak louder than words." Naruto laughed. "Most people won't change just because someone tells them to change. You have to show them that actions have consequences. That is what I am doing, showing them what happens when you're a bully. And it's only hurting their pride anyways." "True enough." Zane replied, "I saw your duel with Bastion by the way. An interesting deck." "My Suna deck? Yeah, it is pretty interesting. Defensive?" "Partially. Gaara makes up a part of the deck but there is a whole other side to it that makes it very dangerous." "How so?" "That would be telling." Naruto laughed. "I don't reveal my cards unless I'm dueling." "Fair enough." Zane laughed. "So you've shown two different decks, one that relies heavily on special summoning and increasing attack power and the other is some kind of defensive deck. Seems like each deck plays to a different style." They do to a degree. The brunette replied. Each deck is different and each deck has its own playing style. It's what makes them so dangerous and me so unpredictable. You can never know in advance what deck I'll be using, and because of that it makes it very hard to design a deck that will counteract any of mine. But what makes them really difficult to stop is the fact that they play off of themselves, not just the Kanaha deck but all of them. Makes it hard to stop an opponent that can special summon out multiple monsters in short order. Unless they stop you from special summoning or stop you from using certain types of cards, said Zane. Naruto leaned back to continue gazing at the stars and said, they can try, but that is easier said than done. Taking this as a sign that he was finished speaking, Zane chose to do the same, leaning back and simply gazing up at the starry sky while allowing the world to continue to spin. Gazing down at Alexis, who had just returned to the dorm, Naruto sat in gloomy silence. The previous evening, she had gone out, and Naruto had witnessed her leaving and coming back somewhat shaken. It was from the rumor mill that morning that he learned about the events of the previous evening. As it happened, Jaden and Cyrus were now facing consequences for entering the deserted dorm, and Crowler was making them fight for the opportunity to stay. After hearing Alexis's side of the story, Naruto said, those two are taking a punishment they don't deserve. She nodded, saying, I know, we need to fix this issue. How? Naruto sighed as he got up and left the dorm, saying, that is the question. You got them into this, you get to help me pull their rears out of the fire. To the one place I hate more than anything, the library. As she trailed behind him, Alexis suppressed a chuckle at this. She did feel bad that she had put the two Slifer students in danger by going to look for her brother, but they had done it to help her, so she was all for it if she and Naruto could figure out a way to get them out of trouble. They spent the majority of the afternoon poring over the rulebooks before realizing that there was no way to prevent the duel from taking place. Alexis said, maybe we're going at this from the wrong angle. Naruto frowned and asked, what's your idea? We get them out of danger by having someone else take their place. Alexis responded. Naruto returned to one of the older rulebooks and nodded, saying, a champion. Yeah, they have a rule here for it, but the rule breaker needs to accept along with the champion. Anything in there about how it works for a tag duel? Alexis inquired. Yeah. Naruto replied, it says that if it's a tag duel and both partners agree to having a champion, they can have their champion or champions. Alexis sighed, great. So let's go tell them. Naruto nodded as he moved to the exit doors and sensed his cell phone ringing. Yeah. Alexis, who had never seen him use the device, gave him a strange look at that. They were all aware that he carried it with him at all times, but during their entire stay at the school, he never even opened it. After opening the phone and holding it to his ear for a short while, Naruto hung up, his eyes a darker thundercloud than they had been earlier in the day. Everything okay? Inquired Alexis. That was a friend of my dad's. I told him before I left to call me if certain individuals were coming to the island. Naruto clarified. I know who Crowler got to face Jaden and Cyrus. Who? Naruto snarled and accelerated his pace, saying, he got two professional tag duelists to face them, and they have only ever lost once. The Paradox brothers. Alexis nodded, understanding why he was concerned. It's a setup, to the king of games. As they began, Naruto remarked, yeah, but not beyond hope. When they arrived at the Slifer dorm, they discovered that the pair was not there. Naruto eventually spotted the two as they headed along the cliffs, with Jaden either in the middle of or at the end of a duel with Zane due to the attack from Zane's Cyber End Dragon. Naruto sighed as he slowed down and waited for Zane to finish speaking to them, saying, we missed the fun. When he saw him approaching with Alexis, Zane nodded and noticed the expression on his face. Naruto. What's wrong? Gazing at the two Sliver students, Naruto sighed and said, they've been played. Crowler set you up for failure. He's gotten two of the best professional tag duelists to face you, and your odds of winning are so high that you have better odds winning the lottery. Frowning, Cyrus questioned, who'd he get? Alexis said, the Paradox brothers. The two of them blinked in surprise. It's bad, and if you go into this duel you are more than likely going to lose. Naruto started by observing that Jaden appeared pumped. There is an option that Crowler won't see coming though, while Cyrus appeared to have lost some of his fire. What is it? Blinked Jaden. A substitution. Naruto replied, I take your places and face them myself. Jaden yelled, no way. Cyrus and I can manage this. Jaden, do you know what you're saying? Alexis yelled. If you lose then you and Cyrus are expelled. Jaden, that spirit is impressive, but I agree with Naruto on this. Your chances of winning are worse than your chances of beating me. Zane replied, you're leaving out a detail though, Naruto. If you lose then you leave as well. Naruto grinned savagely and said, that's because I won't. I can beat them. Jaden grinned and said, Naruto, we'll win. Then Naruto pulled out a deck and said, prove it. Face me, you and Cyrus. Win and I will let you two go and face the Paradox Brothers. Lose and I take your place. Deal. Jaden chuckled. I've been looking forward to a chance at facing you. Naruto looked at the more reserved boy and said, Cyrus? Cyrus nodded and turned on his own duel disc, saying, I'll duel you. Then we're agreed. Naruto nodded and took a step back. 2-on-1 rules state that I get 8,000 life points. You two will go first, no attacking until all three of us have had a turn. Jaden nodded and turned on his duel disc, saying, all right, get your game on. The duel then began, and Jaden pulled out his 6th card. I'll start things off by summoning Elemental Hero Bubbleman, 80, 800, Def, 1200, in defense mode, and when Bubbleman is the only card on my field I get to draw 2 more cards. Jaden clarified as he chose his 2 additional cards. I'll play 2 cards face down and end my turn. On to your buddy. Jaden LP, 4000 Cyrus LP, 4000 Naruto LP, 8000. I draw, yelled Cyrus as he pulled out his next card. I'll play a card face down and summon Truckroid. 80, 1000, Def, 2000, in defense mode. Smiling, Naruto nodded at his hand after drawing his card and said, my draw. We'll start things off with this. I'll play my field spell Sanagakure no Sato, so I hope you guys like sand. The field was transformed from the rocky seaside to a sizable desert village by Naruto's card. Zane grinned and said, interesting, he's using his second deck again. Important? Inquired Alexis. Maybe. Let's see what he has in store. As a young woman with a huge fan appeared with a smug grin on her face, Naruto continued, now, I'll summon out Suna Chunin. Tamari no Subaku. 80. 1700, Def. 1500, in attack mode and let her reap an extra 580 points from the field spell. 80. 2200, Def. 1500. Now for her real strength. This card can attack all your monsters at once, so Tamari let them have a taste of your Kamaitachi no Jutsu. With the smirk still on her face, Tamari swung the fan, and the sand revealed the path of the 2 wind blades heading towards Bubbleman and Truckroid. It's not going to be that easy, Jaden said with a grin. I activate my Trap Hero Barrier. With this card I can negate 1 attack as long as I have an elemental hero on the field. Naruto grinned as the card rose and a spinning barrier materialized in front of the attacks, destroying them. As he proceeded with his turn, Naruto nodded and said, nicely played. I'll finish up my turn by playing 2 cards face down and with that I'll end my turn. Jaden LP, 4000 Cyrus LP, 4000 Naruto LP, 8000. Sweet, I draw. Jaden smiled as he drew his card. I'll play my spell card Polymerization, fusing my elemental hero Bubbleman on the field with my elemental hero Avian to special summon out my elemental hero Mariner. 80. 1400, Def. 1000. Naruto scowled at the card's total attack power as Bubbleman was replaced by the new hero, knowing that Jaden had a plan. Now here's where his effect comes into play. When I have a face down card in my spell, trap card zone elemental hero Mariner can attack your life points directly. Elemental hero Mariner, attack him directly. Blinking at the effect, Naruto considered eliminating the monster but decided against it because he didn't know what Cyrus would do when it was his turn. Naruto braced himself and allowed the anchor to crash into his chest, stealing a few life points in the process. As the card appeared on the field, Jaden said, okay, I'll play 1 card face down and end my turn. Jaden LP, 4000 Cyrus LP, 4000 Naruto LP, 6600. My turn. Cyrus nodded while drawing his card and appeared to devise a plan. I'll attack. Steamroid attack is Suna Chunin. Tamari. He then summoned out his Steamroid in attack mode, 80. 1800, Def. 1800. Don't celebrate just yet. Naruto laughed when he used his trap card. Your attack triggered my trap card underneath the underneath. With this I can negate the attack and destroy your attacking monster, so let's send that Steamroid to the junkyard, shall we? A wire sprang up from the ground and wrapped around Steamroid as it approached, causing it to hang in midair before being dropped to the ground and destroyed. Careless. Zane exclaimed. He thought the way was clear because Naruto let Jaden get a direct hit in. Alexis pointed out, a lot of duelists would make that mistake. Maybe, but Naruto isn't your average duelist. He's smart enough to know that to win you have to take some damage in a longer duel like this. He wanted to leave his monster on the field, the question is why, Zane thought. With a sigh, Cyrus said, I'll end my turn. Jaden LP, 4000. Cyrus LP, 4000. Naruto LP, 6600. The game is young and if you want to win you need to keep faith in your deck, Naruto yelled, causing Cyrus to blink. It's too early to be getting depressed, Cyrus. But, as he drew his card, Naruto reprimanded him, saying, believe in yourself, Cyrus. Show me that you are as skilled as I think you are. He drew his card, which read, I'll tribute Sunachunin. Tamari to summon out Sunajonin. Konkuro. 80. 2300. Def. 1800. And let him get his bonus from the field. 80. 2800. Def. 1800. Then activated my second face down card, Suna Puppet Core. With this card during my standby phase, I'll be able to special summon out any Suna Puppet card as long as Konkuro or a few other cards stay on the field. As Tamari was replaced by Konkuro, the card activated behind him, displaying several silhouetted people with blue lines connected to various looking puppets. Now I'll continue my turn by removing that rather annoying elemental hero of yours, Jaden. Konkuro, take him out. With the same cocky smile that Naruto recalled seeing him have, Konkuro vanished in a whirlpool of sand and then materialized in front of the elemental hero Mariner, slamming his fist into the hero's face and seriously wounding Jaden. I'll activate my face down card, Hero Signal, Jaden said. When one of my monsters is destroyed I can special summon out one 4-star elemental hero, so come on out elemental hero Clayman. 80. 800. Def. 2000, in defense mode. As he waited to see what the two would think of, Naruto said calmly, I'll end my turn there. Jaden LP. 2600. Cyrus LP. 4000. Naruto LP. 6600. Jaden looked at his hand and nodded, saying, I draw. I'll end my turn by calling out my Rottweiler. 80. 800. Def. 1200, in defense mode. Jaden LP. 2600. Cyrus LP. 4000. Naruto LP. 6600. My turn. Cyrus replied, I'll summon out my Submarineroid. 80. 800. Def. 1800, in attack mode. Then I'll use his effect to attack you directly. Naruto laughed as the sub sank beneath the sand and he saw the little missile aimed at him. You two just love going for the direct attack. As he launched the attack, Naruto turned to face Cyrus, who appeared to have some sort of plan for the time being. Naruto could tell that Cyrus was becoming serious. As the sub emerged from the sand, Cyrus remarked, since my Submarineroid attacked, it's now switched to defense mode. Then I'll play a card face down and end my turn. Jaden LP. 2600. Cyrus LP. 4000. Naruto LP. 5800. I think I need to start getting serious against you two. Naruto said with a smirk, but first let's get a puppet onto the field. I'll special summon out Suna Puppet. Crow. 80. 1800. Def. 1000. And let him collect his bonus from the field spell as well as an additional 500 attack points from having Konkuro on the field. 80. 2800. Def. 1000. Then I'll summon out my Suna Puppet, Black Ant. 80. 1500. Def. 2000. And let him collect as well. 80. 2000. Def. 2000. Before I trigger his effect. When Black Ant is in attack mode and Crow is on the field he can destroy one monster on the field. So let's remove that Submarineroid of yours, Cyrus. Crow sent its arms into Black Ant, destroying Cyrus's monster, and the wider puppet jumped over it, opening its chest cavity and trapping Submarineroid inside. Konkuro struck again, smashing the hero to pieces, and Naruto said, now Konkuro, take out elemental hero Clayman. And Crow, finish off Cyrus's defense by destroying his Truckroid. Cyrus grimaced as his monster was annihilated, but he might be able to salvage the duel with a successful next draw. Looking at Jaden, Naruto said, I'll end my turn there. Jaden LP. 2600. Cyrus LP. 4000. Naruto LP. 5800. My turn. Jaden nodded as he drew, I'll summon out elemental hero Sparkman. 80. 1600. Def. 1000, in attack mode and equip him with the Spark Blaster equip card. Sparkman then pointed the blaster at Naruto's monsters, saying, then I use his blaster to change the battle positions of all three of your monsters, putting them into defense mode. After 3 shots, the blaster was destroyed, and Naruto smiled as he realized what Jaden was about to do. Now Sparkman, take out his Suna Puppet, Crow. Sparkman struck with a ball of lightning that destroyed the puppet, causing Sparkman to spark electricity between his fingers, which caused Naruto to laugh. Naruto laughed and said, not bad, but you're delaying the inevitable. As he concluded his turn, Jaden smiled and said, maybe, but I know that Cyrus has a plan. Jaden LP. 2600 Cyrus LP. 4000 Naruto LP. 5800. Yeah. Cyrus nodded as he drew and smiled as he began his turn. I'll start by summoning out Expressroid, 80, 400, def, 1600, in defense mode and trigger his effect. When Expressroid is summoned, I can add 2 Roid monsters from my graveyard to my hand. 2 cards were then ejected from the graveyard and placed in Cyrus's hand. I then activate my spell card Vehicroid Connection Zone. With this I can send to the graveyard from my field or hand monsters that are listed on a Vehicroid Fusion monster and special summon it to the field. So I send my Steamroid, Submarineroid, and Drillroid from my hand to summon out Super Vehicroid Jumbo Drill. 80. 3000, def. 2000, and when I use Vehicroid Connection Zone, my monster can be destroyed by spells, traps, or monster effects. As the larger monster appeared, Naruto grinned as he saw the attack on the monster and knew that his trust in Cyrus was not misplaced. Now Super Vehicroid Jumbo Drill, attack his Sunajonin. Konkuro. As the enormous machine approached him, Naruto nodded and said, nice choice, and an excellent strategy, however, it isn't going to be that simple. Cyrus blinked. What? As the machine crashed into Konkuro, who switched places with Black Ant, Naruto said, the attack still hits, but I can destroy Black Ant to keep Konkuro on the field. This destroyed the puppet. Maybe, but Super Vehicroid Jumbo Drill has damage piercing. Cyrus laughed. As his life points fell once more, Naruto laughed and said, oh, you two are just full of surprises tonight. In the hopes that it would be sufficient, Cyrus said, I'll end my turn there. Jaden LP. 2600 Cyrus LP. 4000 Naruto LP. 4600. Then it's my draw. Naruto gave a nod. So let's bring out a puppet with a little more muscle, shall we? I special summon out one Suna puppet. Sasori. 80. 2800. Def. 2400. And give him his bonus. 80. 3300. Def. 2400. You did good work, Cyrus, but your monster isn't getting to stick around today. First I switch Konkuro back to attack mode, then I'll let Sasori remove that Jumbo Drill. Not yet. I activate my trap card Cyber Repairer, so you get to draw a card and all of my machine-type monsters can't be destroyed this turn. Cyrus said while flipping his card. Naruto nodded as Sasori proceeded with the attack, slicing into Super Vehicroid Jumbo Drill with his bladed arm. And don't think I've forgotten about you, Jaden. Konkuro removed his Sparkman. But I'll take a bit of your life points to remind you of what's to come. As he activated his trap card, Jaden chimed, not going to happen. My draining shield will take that hit instead. As the shield deflected the blow and Jaden's life points continued to rise, Naruto laughed. Naruto sighed, well then I'll end my turn there. Jaden LP. 5200 Cyrus LP. 3700 Naruto LP. 4600. Then I sacrifice my 2 monsters so I can summon out my elemental hero Bladage. 80. 2600. Def. 1800. In attack mode. Now I'm tired of the desert, so let's change the scenery. I'll activate my field spell Skyscraper. Jaden paused as he looked at his hand and appeared to have an idea. My turn. Jaden nodded as he drew his card. I'll start by playing my spell card Pot of Greed, and draw 2 more cards. Naruto's 2 monsters lost their 580-point bonus as the sand rolled away and a massive city arose around them. Naruto reminded him, not bad, but not good enough either, Jaden. I'm far from finished. Jaden laughed. With Skyscraper on the field, if one of my elemental hero monsters battles against a monster with more attack points, they gain an extra 1000 attack points. So Bladage take out his Suna puppet. Sasori. Naruto laughed as Bladage charged at Sasori, who took the bladed wrist to the chest while his own bladed arm slashed into the elemental hero, killing him as well. Then I hope you don't mind losing your hero. What? Jaden cried in disbelief. When Sasori battles a monster, it's destroyed at the end of the damage step. Cyrus's Jumbo Drill was protected but your hero wasn't. Naruto clarified. Aw man. Jaden breathed deeply. Well, I at least cleared the way for you, buddy. Cyrus nodded as Jaden finished his turn. Yeah. Jaden LP. 5200 Cyrus LP. 3700 Naruto LP. 3800. There was a pause while Cyrus examined his hand and appeared to have a depressing epiphany while he was making his move. Okay, Super Vehicroid Jumbo Drill is going to attack and destroy your Sunajonin. Konkuro, and since you don't have any puppets to protect him this time, it will stick. Cyrus replied. As he watched Kankuro be destroyed, Naruto nodded and said, "Too true. But that's not enough to finish me off." Cyrus nodded and said, "Yeah, I'll end my turn." Jaden LP. 5200 Cyrus LP. 3700 Naruto LP. 3100. I draw. Naruto drew his card, and a slowly spreading smile spread across his face, sending shivers down everyone's spines. "You played well, you too, but this is where I begin your end. I summon out Suna Genin. Gaara no Subaku in attack mode." Gaara appeared in a swirl of sand, glaring murderously. But he isn't hanging around tonight. Instead, I send him to the graveyard to special summon out one of the most dangerous monsters in my possession. With a hand sign, the sand began to converge on him, rising until it soon grew as tall as the skyscrapers, before it transformed into a giant tanuki. "Gentlemen, allow me to introduce you to Ichibi no Tanuki. Shukaku. 80. 3000. Def. 4500. Shukaku began to laugh loudly. "So you finally summon me out, your ungrateful brat?" He chuckled. Looking at the two Slifer Red students, Naruto laughed in turn and said, "They managed to push me to the point where I thought you were necessary. Now for Shukaku's effect. On the turn he is summoned, he destroys all cards on the field, but he can't attack this turn." The big Tanuki glared at the creature that had defied him as Shukaku swung his arms with another laugh, destroying all cards save the Super Vehicroid Jumbo Drill. As his final face-down card turned out to be the trap card Wonder Garage, Cyrus remarked, "Not the best move. So now I special summon out my Jetroid, 80. 1200. Def. 1800, from my hand in defense mode." "Not bad, but it's only a minor delay," Naruto replied. "I'll end my turn there." Jaden LP. 5200 Cyrus LP. 3700 Naruto LP. 3100. My turn. Jaden gave a nod. I summon out my winged Karibo, 80. 300. Def. 200, in defense mode and end my turn. My draw. Cyrus appeared unsure of what to do and hesitated as he saw his draw. Observing the turmoil in his eyes, Naruto gazed at him for a few moments, knowing that what he was about to do would truly enrage the giant Tanuki. "Cyrus!" Naruto yelled, causing him to leap with surprise. "The card symbolizes something you were afraid of, so now is your chance to start conquering it. Show me what you can do. Fear is normal, but never let it cloud your judgment." After he finished speaking, Cyrus blinked, and Naruto noticed that his gaze shifted to Zane, who gave him a single nod, which appeared to be all Cyrus needed to proceed with his move. "I start by switching my Jetroid into attack mode and then activate my spell card to Fusion. This will send my Super Vehicroid Jumbo Drill back to my deck and bring back Submarineroid, Steamroid and Drillroid to the field. Then I activate my spell card Power Bond. This card works just like polymerization, and so those three go back to the graveyard and let me bring back my Super Vehicroid Jumbo Drill, with twice his normal attack. 80. 6000. Def. 2000. Now Jumbo Drill destroy his Ichibi no Tanuki. Shukaku." Shukaku glared at Naruto and said, "You little shit." Naruto laughed as Jumbo Drill destroyed Shukaku by slamming into his stomach. Had to be done. Cyrus yelled, "Now Jetroid, attack him directly," as the jet swooped down on Naruto, destroying the last of his life points. There was a pause while Naruto clapped his hands slowly and laughed. Naruto nodded and put the Suna deck back in its case, saying, "Well done, Cyrus. It looks like you two will be going up against the Paradox Brothers yourselves." Jaden gave Cyrus a pat on the back and chuckled, saying, "You were awesome, buddy. We duel like that against those two and we'll win for sure." Cyrus nodded and said, "Why? Yeah. I advise more practice for you, Cyrus. Once great duel is one thing, but those two are professionals," warned Naruto. "Okay." Cyrus nodded as he and Jaden headed back to their dorm, his resolve stronger than ever. Zane and Alexis stopped Naruto as he turned to return to the obelisk blue dorm. Zane said, "You let them win." Naruto grinned and asked, "What makes you say that?" "You had those two cards in your hand right from the start. You could have started off with that Shukaku card right from the start and you didn't," said Zane. "Where's the fun in that?" Naruto responded as he continued to walk. "Those two won fair and square. So I played with my food a bit and paid the price, no big deal. Have a good night, you two." "He is something else." Alexis sighed, "I still don't understand him." "I doubt anyone fully does. But I think I know what that duel was about," Zane replied. "He was testing them. He wanted to see if they had what it took to win against the Paradox Brothers, and he seems to think that they can. Maybe, but he could have made sure that they would have been fine by taking their place." That's not the way his mind works. He was willing to protect them if they wanted to be protected, but they want to duel and he gave them a chance to test their resolve against a tough deck. He may say he was playing with his food, but he was testing them at every step of the duel, seeing what they would do. Zane added, only thing left to see is if his assessment was right. Naruto reclined on his bed and sighed with satisfaction. A few weeks had passed since the tag match, in which Jaden and Cyrus defeated the Paradox Brothers, as something Naruto was certain they would accomplish. Although he had been concerned, his duel with them had allayed his fears, and it appeared that Cyrus was well on his way to developing into a genuinely strong duelist. However, the fact that the room was now entirely his was the reason for his satisfaction, as Chaz had fled after losing to Bastion. Bastion would have been much less annoying to Naruto than Chaz had been, so Naruto had been hoping for a new roommate. However, he had turned down the promotion, leaving Naruto alone. When Naruto's gaze paused on a specific item, he clicked on the television and began to browse the guide, thinking, well, might as well see what's on. He would gladly endure a lecture from his father for spending that much money, even though it was paid per view. His eyes were focused on the Japanese Pro Championship, where the tournament winner would square off against Yugi Muto and his Battle City deck in the deck's closing duel. Naruto marked it in the DVR while beaming broadly, then stood up and made his way to the door. The majority of the students had already left for the holidays due to winter break, but a sizable portion remained, including the group Naruto intended to capture. Naruto started toward the Slifer Red dining hall as he made his way to the smaller building. When he opened the door, he saw Professor Banner seated there with his cat. Banner grinned and said, "Ah, hello Naruto." "Professor." Naruto returned the nod. He had discussed the possibility of entering parallel worlds and alchemical dueling with the teacher on a few occasions and liked him. Although he had few answers, he had many theories that Naruto liked to discuss with him. He said, "So what brings you by? I'm looking for Jaden and Cyrus. They around?" "They should be in their room asleep. We had quite the night last night." Banner laughed. "Oh, this sounds like quite the story." Naruto laughed. "I'll ask them about it later." "So what do you need them for?" "I was going to invite them over to my dorm. There's a duel on that I wanted to have them over to watch." "Oh, who's competing?" Naruto replied, "Japanese Championship." The teacher's smile widened. He laughed and said, "I see. Well, you boys enjoy the duels." As he approached their door to say goodbye, Naruto started rapping on it until he heard moans and complaints, and then Cyrus opened it with a dazed expression. "Naruto, what are you doing here? Getting you and your lazy bones roommates." Naruto laughed. "Get dressed and get the lead out. There's a duel to watch." Jaden yelled, "Duel? Who's dueling? I got the Japanese Championship on per view, and I am dragging you lot to my dorm to watch." Jaden jumped out of his bunk and exclaimed, "The championship, we are there." The blonde nodded as he took a step back and allowed them to shut the door. "Good, get dressed so we can go grab Bastion and some snackage." Chumlee joined them as they walked to the raw yellow dorm, which took a few moments. Bastion, in contrast to the others, was already awake when they got there, and after he followed them, they entered the main building, where Ms. Dorothy was still serving food. They left for the obelisk blue dorm after Naruto paid for everything himself and loaded their arms with food and beverages. Bastion said, "So who's dueling?" Instead, "Didn't believe it till I saw it myself, but it's my Valentine against Joey Wheeler." Naruto laughed. "Those two haven't faced off against each other since the World Championships 7 years ago. Mai tends to stick around the American Pro Circuit." As they entered, Jaden smiled and said, "Wow. This is going to be awesome." The four were astounded by the dorm's lavishness. As they ascended the stairs to the second floor, Naruto called back to them, "Oi, get the lead out." Naruto blinked as he approached his room and noticed Zane and Alexis standing in front of his door. Alexis smiled and said, "Oh, there you are." Naruto said, "You looking for me?" She acknowledged, "I was hoping for a practice duel with you." Naruto laughed sheepishly and said, "Sorry, not today. Per view." With a raised eyebrow, Zane questioned, "Oh, what duel?" When Naruto opened the door and looked at them with a raised eyebrow of his own, the two of them gasped when he said, "Mai versus Joey. You coming in or what?" Alexis blinked. "You're inviting us too?" Naruto answered, Duh. Duels are more fun with good company." After exchanging glances, the two entered the room and assisted in removing the plastic bags containing the food and beverages. Looking around the room, Cyrus said, "This is awesome. Won't your roommate be mad when he sees us all?" he asked. "Hard to be mad when he isn't here." Alexis laughed. Chaz was his roommate. Jaden blinked. "Oh." Snapping an elbow at Bastion, Naruto smiled and said, yeah, and the replacement chose to not get promoted. Might be a good thing. He has a habit of writing formulas on the walls. Cyrus chuckled. Bastion said, it helps me calculate strategy. He threw him a can of soda and said, if you say so. Naruto smiled and said, well, let's get the duel on. They'll be starting soon since this is a 2-for-1 deal. Chumley scowled and said, 2-for-1? You didn't hear? Alexis looked up. This is the King of Games' last duel with his Battle City deck. Cyrus whistled, whoa. You mean? Zane leaned forward in the chair he had taken and nodded, saying, yeah. This is one for the ages. Thank you, Naruto. Naruto smiled as he switched on the channel and the announcer began talking, saying, hey, don't worry about it. The chewing out from my dad will be well worth it later. Welcome ladies and gentlemen to the Japanese Pro Circuit Finals. It has been a long and difficult journey for these many duelists that have come from all over the world for a chance to face off against the legendary King of Games himself, Yugi Muto. Fighting their way up through the ranks, we are now down to our final 2 duelists. Mai Valentine, a regular on the international circuit as well as the American circuit, has made a strong showing of herself as is only fitting of one of the quarter-finalists of the original Battle City. Her Harpy Lady deck is still as vicious as it was back then, and her skills have only improved over these past few years. Her opponent tonight is the Japanese champion himself, Joey Wheeler. Joey has had an impressive dueling career, having made his debut in the Duelist Kingdom and worked his way up in the rankings, and is now considered one of the 5 strongest duelists in the world. The announcer then went on to show clips of their various duels during the tournament before stopping as the lights dimmed in the Kaibadome and he began announcing their arrival. In the red box, a duelist as beautiful as she is skilled. Her harpies will tear apart any that cross her. We give you the one and only Mai Valentine. At that, Mai walked out of the tunnel into the red box, on the ground, her posture and face showing nothing but confidence. And her opponent, he's the Japanese champion, a man whose luck knows no bounds. We give you Joey, the gambler, Wheeler. And now Joey walked out, a cocky grin on his face as he waved at the crowd before stopping in the blue box and nodding his head to Mai. A sort of fencer's salute that Mai returned as well. May the best duelist win. As she pulled out her cards and nodded at her hand, Mai exclaimed, the first move is mine, Joseph. And I'll start this off by summoning out my Amazoness swordswoman. 80. 1500, def. 1600, in attack mode. The dark, skinned woman materialized in a flash, her sword ready. Then I'll play 2 cards face down. My LP. 4000, Joey LP. 4000. Then I draw. Joey smiled as he drew his card and appeared to be devising a quick plan. First I'll play my spell card Giant Trunade, so let's get rid of those face down cards. A whirlwind swept across the field with the activation, causing the 2 cards to vanish and allowing Joey to continue his turn. Then I summon out my marauding captain, 80. 1200, def. 400, in attack mode, and activate his effect to special summon out 1 level 4 or lower warrior type monster. So let's say hello to my rocket warrior. 80. 1500, def. 1300, in attack mode as well. The armored human appeared in a flash, followed by the smaller rocket warrior. Now rocket warrior, attack her Amazoness swordswoman. Rocket strike, Joey said. A flash of light destroyed both monsters as it squished into its rocket shape and launched itself at the Amazon, who swung her sword to meet the charge. As the warrior charged in, Joey yelled, now marauding captain, attack her directly. He swung his sword at Mai, taking a few life points. Now I'll play a card face down and activate my Continus spell card Dangerous Machine 6. A huge machine with 6 different circles appeared on the field in a flash of light. This won't trigger until my standby phase, so I'll end my turn there. My LP. 2800, Joey LP. 4000, in a flash of light. The Cyber Harpy Lady was joined by the Harpy Lady sisters, who landed in the same area and appeared ready to tear into Joey. I hope you're ready, Joseph, because I'm not going easy on you. Cyber Harpy Lady attacked his marauding captain. Mai said, grinning, not bad, Joseph, but I won't be going down that easily. I'll start things off by summoning out my Cyber Harpy Lady. 80. 1800, def. 1300, in attack mode, and activate my spell card Elegant Egotist. So say hello to my Harpy Lady sisters, Mai said. I'm not going easy on you either, Mai, Joey exclaimed. You activated my trap card Chasm of Spikes. So now your Cyber Harpy Lady is destroyed and you take a quarter of its attack as damage. Then my Harpy Lady sisters will have to finish off your monster. Mai blinked as the pit opened in front of her monster, and it cringed a little as it fell into the trap. The 3 winged beasts then charged and slashed apart the monster, dealing Joey a good deal of damage. Then I'll play those 2 cards face down again and end my turn. My LP. 2350 Joey LP. 3250. Then I draw. Joey nodded, and the effect of my Dangerous Machine 6 activates. So let's see what the effect is going to be. The machine's roulette began to flash from number to number until it finally stopped on the third option, number 3, so he drew another card. Joey appeared to have an idea as he looked at his hand and said, I'll start by playing my Monster Reborn spell card to bring back my Marauding Captain in attack mode, then I tribute him in order to summon out Jinzo. 80. 2400. Def. 1500. In attack mode. The revived captain was quickly sent back to the graveyard, and in his place was the menacing face of Jinzo. When Mai saw Joey's new monster, she appeared to want to swear, which could only indicate that the face-down cards had been traps and that she didn't have a counter ready for one of Joey's more dangerous cards. Okay Jinzo, let's take care of those harpies. Psychic shot. Jinzo then unleashed a psychic energy blast that destroyed the 3 harpies, saying, I'll end my turn there My LP. 1900 Joey LP. 3250 After drawing, Mai scowled as she examined her hand, then grinned as she looked directly into Joey's eyes. I hope you're ready for this, Joseph, because I'm about to destroy that precious monster of yours. Mai smiled. I start by summoning out my Amazonas fighter, 80. 1500. Def. 1300 in attack mode. The newest Amazon was well muscled and lacked a weapon, but it also had a much more confident smirk on its face, one that nearly matched the one on Mai's. Then I activate my spell card Amazonas Spellcaster. This card will let me switch the base attacks of our 2 monsters. A beam of light connected the 2 monsters, and as their attacks were switched, the Amazonas fighter grew larger and Jinzo grew weaker. Now take out his Jinzo, Amazonian Punch. The Amazonas fighter rushed forward, slamming a fist into Jinzo's face, shattering it, while the shockwave smashed into Joey. It's your move now Joseph. My LP. 1900 Joey LP. 2350 After drawing his card, Joey looked at his Dangerous Machine 6 as it began playing roulette once more and landed on a 6 this time. Joey looked at his hand and seemed to decide, I'll play a monster face down and end my turn. Oh man. Joey moaned as the machine was destroyed by its own effect. Well, got to keep moving. My LP. 1900 Joey LP. 2350. Running scared Joseph. Or is this some clever trap? Mai scowled at the monster with its face down before turning to face the cards she was holding. Joey smiled mischievously as Mai's eye twitched. I ain't tellin'. Well either way it won't change a thing. Mai responded. I summon out another Cyber Harpy Lady in attack mode and let her take care of your face down monster. In a flash, the strange looking jar appeared, and a tornado swept across the field. When fiber jars flipped face up, every card on the field, in the graveyard, and in our hands gets put back into the deck and shuffled. Then we both get 5 cards. Joey said, bad call Mai. The monster had flipped face up. When Mai saw that the entire field had been cleared and that they both had a new hand, her eyes widened. After examining her cards, annoyed Mai made a decision. I summon out my Harpy Lady, 80. 1300, Def. 1400, in defense mode and play 1 card face down. It's your turn now. My LP. 1900 Joey LP. 2350 Joey appeared to have a plan once more and was prepared to press the second opportunity that presented itself when he drew his card. Joey played his card, revealing 2 altars that resembled torches and a vast expanse of darkness above. I'll begin by activating my ritual spell card Dark Dragon Ritual, he said, sending a 4-star monster from my hand to the graveyard to now bring out my Knight of Dark Dragon. 80. 1900, Def. 1200, in attack mode. Now attack her Harpy Lady. Not going to happen Joseph. Mai responded, you've triggered my trap card Mirror Wall. What? Joey cried out. That's right, now your monster loses half of its attack points. Mai laughed. And it's not strong enough to defeat my Harpy Lady now. As the attack persisted and Joey's life points began to decline, he grunted, I'll play 1 card face down and end my turn. My LP. 1900 Joey's LP. 1900 Mai selected the card she liked and was holding. First, since I can't pay to keep my mirror wall up, it goes to the graveyard now. Hope you're ready Joseph, because I'm going to end any hope of winning you have here. I activate my Elegant Egotist card to bring out my Harpy Lady sisters, then I tribute them to summon out my Harpy's pet dragon. 80. 2000. Def. 2500. In attack mode. Now destroy his Knight of Dark Dragon. Before using his trap card, Joey took the blow with little protest. The time machine materialized in a cloud of purple smoke, opening its doors to allow the warrior to exit, still prepared for battle. Not bad, but I'm not done yet either. I activate my time machine trap card. So let's bring back my Knight of Dark Dragon in attack mode. It won't change a thing, Joseph. Mai replied, I'll play a card face down and end my turn. My LP. 1900 Joey LP. 1800. With this card I get to draw one more card and drop your monster's attack to 0. Joey said, I draw. Sorry Mai, but the duel ends here. I start by activating my spell card Energy Drain. A giant hand appeared as the card was played, with energy emanating from it towards the harpy's pet dragon. No. Mai cried as her dragon fell to the ground, appearing worn out and feeble. Now Knight of Dark Dragon. Destroy her monster. Dark Dragon Slash. The ritual monster charged forward, delivering a devastating blow that eliminated Mai's remaining life points. As the audience roared, the announcer declared, and the winner is Joey Wheeler. The announcer went on while Joey approached Mai and shook hands. Their conversation was not overheard, but it appeared that they were parting ways amicably and without animosity. As the lights went down and a spotlight shone on the hallway beneath the stands, Joey turned to face the other side of the field as she entered the red box. The moment you have all been waiting for has finally arrived. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment that you have all been waiting for, we present to you, the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only king of games, Yugi Muto. Yugi exclaimed with approval as he left, grinning and nodding to Joey. Nothing had to be said between them. There was no need for words. Their friendship remained intact despite the numerous times they had done this over the years. The two duelists drew their cards, and the audience fell silent for a moment. First move goes to the challenger Yug. Joey laughed as he chose his card, and I'm not pulling any punches. I'll start by summoning out Gearfried the Iron Knight. 80. 1800, Def. 1600, in attack mode and then play a card face down. Joey LP. 4000 Yugi LP. 4000, then I draw. Yugi said, and start by playing my Change of Heart spell card, and take control of your Gearfried. A half. Demon, half. Angel appeared and took control of Gearfried, the Iron Knight, bringing him to Yugi's side of the field. Then I tribute him, in order to summon out my Beast of Gilfer. 80. 2200. Def. 2500, in attack mode. The larger fiend with a vicious snarl appeared in Gearfried's place, saying, now my Beast of Gilfer, attack Joey directly. The face. Down card raised up, revealing the capsule with the words, this increases my life points by 4000 before damage calculation. I won't be going down that easy. I activate my trap card Nutrient Z. As the attack struck, Yugi nodded and said, well played, Joey. Meaning you have more life points now than when we started. Joey smiled and said, it's too early to be losing this duel. Then I'll play 2 cards face down and end my turn. Joey LP. 5800 Yugi LP. 4000 as Joey began his turn, he said, okay, let's see what we got. I'll play Monster Reborn, to bring back my Gearfried the Iron Knight in attack mode, then I activate my spell card Release Restraint. As Gearfried appeared, a flash of light appeared around him as his armor began to fall away. This lets me special summon Gearfried the Swordmaster. 80. 2600. Def. 2200, in attack mode. The remaining armor vanished, and the formidable warrior stood before Joey. Then I equip him with the legendary sword, increasing his attack and defense by 300. 80. 2900. Def. 2500, and activating his effect, destroying one monster you control. So let's get rid of that Beast of Gilfer, Joey said. Gearfried swung the sword in a flash of light while holding it, and the fiend monster across from him was destroyed by the energy of the slash. Yugi responded, and you trigger the Beast of Gilfer's effect. He now equips himself to your monster, making him lose 500 attack points. Meanwhile, the ghost of his monster materialized near Gearfried. 80. 2400. Def. 2500. Yeah, but you are wide open. Joey laughed. Gearfried, attack him directly. Yugi revealed the trap card and threw the spell seal into Gearfried the Swordmaster, trapping him in place. Not as easy as you think, Joey. I activate my trap card Spellbinding Circle, trapping your monster, Yugi exclaimed. Darn it. Well, I'll play one more card face down and end my turn, Joey was grumbling. Joey LP. 5800 Yugi LP. 4000, like you said, Joey, it's too early for this duel to end. Yugi grinned as he pulled his card. I'll summon Gamma the Magnet Warrior. 80. 1500. Def. 1800. In defense mode and end my turn. Joey LP. 5800 Yugi LP. 4000 Joey looked thoughtfully at his hand and silently drew his card. Well, since I can't stop your trap, I might as well bypass it. Joey replied, I tribute Gear Fried the Swordmaster to summon out maximum 6. 80. 1900. Def. 1600. In attack mode. Then his effect triggers. By a roll of the dice he gains 280 times the number shown. So let's roll. A dice appeared and rolled, revealing a 1 as Gear Fried vanished and the blue, 6. Armed monster took his place. 80. 2100. Def. 1600. Joey smiled as the 6. Armed warrior delivered a powerful blow that destroyed the magnet warrior, saying, now maximum 6, destroy his gamma the magnet warrior. I'll end my turn there. Joey LP. 5800 Yugi LP. 4000 When Joey's monster vanished, Yugi's summoned skull appeared in a flash of lightning. Now my summoned skull. Attack Joey directly. Archfiend Lightning. Yugi nodded as he drew his card. But can you stop this? I start by playing my Pot of Greed, to draw 2 more cards, and then I play my Soul Taker spell card, allowing me to tribute one of your monsters to summon one of my own, while you gain an extra 1000 life points. With a wince, Joey accepted the attack as his life points began to fall. Yugi nodded and said, with that I'll end my turn. Joey LP. 4300 Yugi LP. 4000 Joey smiled and said, hey, you like taking my monsters today, huh Yug? Yugi chuckled and said, they have been helpful. As the Grave Robber card changed into the Change of Heart card, Yugi continued to smile at his friend's counter, saying, now that I have your monster, I'll let him attack you directly now. Sparks flew as the summoned skull struck Yugi, who nodded and took the blow. And then I tribute your monster to summon out Cyber. Tech Alligator. 80. 2500. Def. 1600. In attack mode. I'll end my turn there. Joey went on, saying, well, let me return the favor. Joey LP. 4300 Yugi LP. 1500. I draw then. Yugi gave a nod, and summon out my big shield Gardna. 80. 100. Def. 2600. In defense mode and then play 1 more card face down. Joey LP. 4300 Yugi LP. 1500. I draw, and then summon out my Swordsman of Landstar. 80. 500. Def. 1200. In attack mode. Now I'll have my Cyber. Tech Alligator attack your big shield Gardna. I'll take a little damage but you will lose your monster after that. Not so fast Joey. Yugi laughed. You activated my trap card, Magic Cylinder. Now you take that attack as direct damage. The 2 cylinders emerged, one absorbing his attack and the other firing it directly back at him, and Joey flinched. Joey sighed, looks like I end my turn there. Joey LP. 1800. Yugi LP. 1500 After drawing his card, Yugi nodded and said, I summon my obnoxious Celtic Guardian. 80. 1400. Def. 1200. In defense mode and then end my turn. My turn then. Joey LP. 1800 Yugi LP. 1500 Joey drew his next card and sighed, not getting the draw he had hoped for. Okay, come on. He said, I'll play a card face down and end my turn. Joey LP. 1800 Yugi LP. 1500 After drawing his next card, Yugi simply nodded and said, I'll start by playing my spell card of Sanctity. This will let both of us draw until we have 6 cards each. Yugi appeared to have devised a plan, drawing the extra cards, saying, it's time we end this duel Joey. I'll activate another spell card monster reborn to bring back my summoned skull in attack mode. The big fiend stood there once more, glaring down the Cyber. Tech Alligator, and he said, but my monsters won't be staying very long. Joey let out a moan. Oh no, oh yes Joey. Yugi laughed. I tribute them in order to summon out Slifer the Sky Dragon. The legendary monster materialized after the 3 monsters were transported to the cemetery and wrapped in light. With its power now firmly at 4000, Slifer the Sky Dragon, Yugi's first Egyptian god card, was a formidable divine monster in his deck. The giant dragon reared up and opened its lower mouth to fire its destructive blast, destroying the last of Joey's life points. Now Slifer, attack his Swordsman of Landstar, Yugi exclaimed. The announcer exclaimed, and we have a winner. Yugi Muto, the king of games, has once again emerged victorious. After a little more conversation, Naruto turned off the television, and the room fell silent for a while. That was awesome, exclaimed Jaden, laughing. No kidding. Alexis laughed. Getting to see an Egyptian god card, it's humbling. I can't believe he used it against Joey like that, Cyrus continued. It was a sign of respect. Zane responded, using one of his strongest cards to defeat him was a sign of his acknowledgement of Joey's skills. Naruto nodded as the group began discussing the play-by-play and making comments about how some moves decided the game more quickly than others or how a single strategically placed counter could have altered the outcome of the entire duel. This was definitely worth paying for. As everyone gradually made their way back to their individual rooms after the late-night conversation, Naruto was once again relaxing on his bed and relishing his time at school. Naruto and Jaden entered Ms. Dorothy's card store, and Naruto remarked, "Nice work with that dueling giant thing by the way." Jaden smiled and said, "He was a pretty good duelist." "I'll take your word for it. So you get your ticket yet?" "Ticket?" blinked Jaden. Naruto reached into his blazer and took out his ticket, saying, "To see Yugi's deck. You did get one right?" "Oh man!" exclaimed Jaden upon entering and noticing that Cyrus was engaged in a duel with a raw yellow student. "Hey Cyrus. Why the duel?" Naruto asked, recognizing the raw student as Dimitri, also known as the copy duelist because of his propensity to plagiarize other people's decks. Bastion responded, "He's competing for the final ticket to view Yugi's deck." Laughing, Naruto said, "Oh really, he forget to buy one too?" "No, I bought mine." Cyrus smiled, "If I win, this one is for Jaden." "Whoa. Cyrus, you are the greatest," Jaden grinned. "Yes. A competent wingman is always aware of your weaknesses." Naruto nodded and turned to face Dimitri once more. "So he's imitating this time?" In response, Bastion said, "Professor Crowlers." As he watched Dimitri use his heavy storm card, Naruto hummed, "He's got the combo down, but this isn't going well for him. He keeps copying decks, and I tell him to stop." "Why is that?" Jaden scowled. As he witnessed the ancient gear golem emerge on the field, Naruto clarified, "A deck is meant to be a mirror to your own heart. Copying someone else's deck doesn't show who you really are, it shows who you are pretending to be. A great duelist is great because they and their deck are one, not because of their deck." "Attack the ancient gear golem now," Dimitri said. "Not exactly. I use the special ability of my Jetroid to activate a trap card right out of my hand. I can now activate Magical Cylinder thanks to this. This deals you damage equal to the attack of your monster and cancels your attack." When the twin cylinders materialized, Cyrus smiled before wiping out the remaining life points of Dimitri. Naruto patted Cyrus on the shoulder and nodded, saying, "Well played. You've improved quite a bit." "You believe?" With a startled blink, Cyrus inquired. Naruto shook his head and let Cyrus take the ticket and give it to Jaden. "Beyond a doubt." Naruto nodded as he heard the other students murmuring that Dimitri would probably be demoted soon. He looked over at the raw student and saw Bastion attempting to encourage him, but Dimitri fled before he could. "Are we all set for tomorrow now that we have our tickets?" Naruto smiled as he asked. "You are aware. Seeing that deck in person is going to be amazing," Jaden chuckled. "Especially since we got to watch its last duel with Yugi," Cyrus laughed. "So how much trouble did you get in for that by the way?" did Bastion ask. "Not as much as I thought." Naruto laughed, "Though I have to work off that money this summer." "Oh. Doing a ton of work or finding employment?" Cyrus inquired. "Job most likely." Naruto chuckled, "He has it all lined up. Dad has been bugging me about one for a while now. Actually, I believe he was hoping that I would do that in order to coerce me into agreeing. That's how cunning he is." The three of them laughed a little at that as they left the card store and spent the remainder of the afternoon together before returning to their dorms for the night, or at least part of it. Naruto made the decision that evening to get a sneak peek at the fabled deck, and as he entered the hallways, he noticed two other people making their way to the doors. As Alexis jumped and Zane blinked in shock at the unexpected appearance of the blonde, Naruto remarked, "It's a little late to be going for a walk." Well. Alexis stammered. "If you two are sneaking out to go and see Yugi's deck then great minds think alike." Naruto laughed. After opening the door and letting them out, Zane grinned and said, "Apparently so." It took some time to enter and discover that they weren't the only ones entering covertly. "Geez." Naruto sighed as he noticed Jaden, Cyrus, Chumley, and Bastion making their way to the exhibit. "We ought to have coordinated or something." "Seemingly. I guess this is the championship again." Bastion laughed. With a smile, Naruto said, "No kidding. Well, let's go." They went down the short hallway and opened the doors to discover Crowler standing over a broken display case rather than the deck. "Oh, it is not what it appears to be," he cried out in surprise. "It appears that you attempted to steal the deck," Jaden said. Naruto calmly walked over and said, "Hold still. One quick way to find out." "What?" Crowler cried out. "He's innocent," Naruto said, patting Crowler down and exposing only his ancient gear deck. "I said hold still. Probably happened to walk in on this." "Yes, I appreciate your understanding. That implies that the actual thief is still at large," Jaden cried out. "Divide." Turning to face the door, Naruto responded, "Professor, I would recommend that you stay here, in case the thief comes back. Find them." "Yes." Crowler nodded and sagged against the case, saying, "I'll do that." The 7 young duelists quickly dispersed and began looking around the school grounds for anyone else who might still be out. A short while later, Naruto reached the shore and discovered Cyrus had just lost a duel against Dimitri, who was mimicking Yugi by wearing a scarf. As Jaden, Chumli, and Bastion ran up, Naruto snarled and walked over to help Cyrus up. "Oh hell no, Dimitri, you have gone too far." "Dimitri? My name is Yugi Muto," he cried out. "After that, let's test that." Naruto pulled out one of his decks and growled. "A fight? All right, then." Dimitri smiled and turned on his own duel disc. "Duel." The two yelled. Naruto LP, 4000 LP Dimitri, 4000. After drawing his card and nodding at his hand, Naruto declared, "The first move is mine." He began by calling forth Konoha Chunin. Hinata Hyuga, 80. 1500, Def. 2000, in defense mode. I then finish my turn after playing one card face down. Naruto LP, 4000 LP Dimitri, 4000, then I draw. Dimitri continued, and I play the magic card Polymerization, to fuse together my Gazelle the King of Mythical Beasts with my Performant to fusion summon Chimera the Flying Mythical Beast. 80. 2100. Def. 1800. Now my Chimera attack his Konoha Chunin. Hinata Hyuga. Bad call. Naruto laughed. Whenever Hinata is attacked while in defense mode, she destroys the attacking monster at the end of the damage step. Hinata struck back as Chimera slashed at her, destroying Chimera in the process. "I see. However, this does not help you. Whenever Chimera is destroyed, I can special summon out either Performant or Gazelle to the field. And I chose to special summon Gazelle the King of Mythical Beasts. 80. 1500. Def. 1200. Now Gazelle, attack him directly." With a wince, Naruto accepted the attack as his life points began to fall. I then play a card face down as well and end my turn. Naruto LP. 2500 LP Dimitri. 4000, I draw. Naruto stated as he looked at his hand and seemed to be coming up with a plan. "Okay. I start by activating my face-down card Will of Fire. With this card I can either add a Konoha monster from my graveyard to my deck, from my deck to my hand, or from my hand to the field. So I'm going to be special summoning out Konoha Godem Hokage. Tsunade Senju. 80. 3000, Def. 2500. But we aren't finished just yet. I now normal summon out Konoha Chunin. Shino Aburame. 80. 1800, Def. 1500. Now before we get to attacking, I'll activate Tsunade's special ability. With that, Tsunade turned and placed green glowing hands over Naruto. In place of having her attack, I can have her increase my life points equal to her attack points. Now Shino, let's teach that beast who the real king of the woods is. Go, Kakaichu Swarm. The insects in Shino's coat swarmed out and devoured Gazelle, destroying the creature with a loud buzzing sound. Naruto smiled. "I'll end my turn there." Naruto LP. 5500. LP Dimitri. 3700. "It would seem that I shouldn't underestimate you." Dimitri laughed. "You're able to hear it, aren't you? The heart of the cards." Smirking, Naruto said, "Something like that. Then I won't hold back against you any longer." Dimitri grinned. "I'll start by activating my face-down magic card Swords of Revealing Light. With this card you won't be able to attack for 3 turns and must play all of your monsters face up. Then I summon out Alpha the Magna Warrior. 80. 1400. Def. 1700. In defense mode, and I'll end my turn there." Naruto LP. 5500 LP Dimitri. 3700. On the defensive already? Naruto scowled, glancing down at his hand. "Don't go soft on me now, copycat." Dimitri objected, saying, "I am not a copycat." "If you say so." Naruto snorted, "I'll end my turn there." Naruto LP. 5500 LP Dimitri. 3700 Dimitri said, "Then let me show you what my deck can do. I'll start by using the magic card Monster Reborn to summon out Performant. 80. 1400. Def. 1800. Then I'll pay tribute to him and Alpha the Magnet Warrior to summon out the Dark Magician. 80. 2500. Def. 2100, in attack mode, and then I'll use the magic card Thousand Knives and use it to destroy your Konoha Godem Hokage. Tsunade Senju. Naruto winced as the famous Dark Magician came into view. As Shino was destroyed by the magic blast, Naruto muttered, "This is going to hurt." As the Dark Magician returned to his side of the field, Dimitri said, "I'll end my turn there." Naruto LP. 4800 LP Dimitri. 3700 placing the card once more transported Naruto back to his childhood streets, and as usual, a sense of calm overcame him. My turn. Naruto drew and grinned, saying, "I'll start by playing the field spell Konohagakure no Sato." He had the ability to improve his home no matter how bad things got. Sai quickly drew a lion that was soon crouching in defense mode on Naruto's side of the field after removing the enormous scroll from his back. Then I summon out Konoha Root Soldier. Sai. 80. 1800, Def. 1500, in defense mode, and then I activate his effect, allowing me to create one art token. 80. 500, Def. 500, on my side of the field. So let's see that artistic ability of yours, Sai. And I'll end my turn there. Naruto LP. 4800 LP Dimitri. 3700. My draw. Dimitri responded, drawing his card. Now Dark Magician attack. The Dark Magician advanced, then destroyed the art token with a slam of his staff. I'll end my turn. Naruto LP. 4800 LP Dimitri. 3700. I draw. Naruto replied, and I now tribute Sai to summon out Konoha Root Leader. Danzo Shimura. 80. 2800. Def. 2500, in attack mode, and he gets a nice little power bonus from the field spell, bringing his attack all the way up to 3300. Now I can't attack this turn, so I'll end it there. Naruto LP. 4800 LP Dimitri. 3700. The Swords of Revealing Light vanished as Dimitri pulled out his new card. After giving it some thought, Dimitri declared, "I'll play one card face down and switch my Dark Magician to defense mode." Naruto LP. 4800 LP Dimitri. 3700. As he pulled out his card, Naruto said, "My turn. Now let's get started. Danzo, take out the Dark Magician." Dimitri smiled as his trap card activated. I play Spellbinding Circle. It won't be that simple. When Naruto realized he had stepped into the trap and that Danzo was now trapped, he muttered, "Son of a. I'll play one card face down and end my turn." Naruto LP. 4800 LP Dimitri. 3700. As he switched his Dark Magician back to attack mode, Dimitri smiled and said, "I draw. I summon Wadapan. 80. 200. Def. 300, in defense mode, and end my turn." Naruto LP. 4800 LP Dimitri. 3700. My turn. Naruto said with a nod. I'll start by summoning out Konoha Chunin. Rock Lee. 80. 1900. Def. 1400. In attack mode, and activate the equip spell 8 Inner Gates, so when combined with the field spell brings Lee's attack up to 2900, and gives him damage piercing capabilities. So Lee, let's go crush that little fluff ball. Omet Renge. As Lee vanished from view, he appeared in front of the Wadapan and kicked it into the air before vanishing behind it and loudly booming as it hit the ground. Lee leapt back to Naruto's side, and Naruto responded, "It's your move." Naruto LP. 4800 LP by Dimitri. 1100. Excellent work, Dimitri said, glancing at his card and nodding. I'll begin by giving my Dark Magician my equip magic card, Magic Formula, which will increase his attack to 3000. After that, I'll have him attack and destroy your Konoha Chunin, Rock Lee. Naruto smiled as the wire trap appeared around the Dark Magician and destroyed him. Not so fast. I activate my trap card, Underneath the Underneath. This card negates your attack and destroys the attacking monster, he said. As he drew his cards and appeared satisfied with his new hand, Dimitri declared, I'll play my spell card of Sanctity. With this we now both draw until we have 6 cards in our hands. I then summon Big Shield Gardna, 80. 100. Def. 2600, in defense mode and play 1 card face down. Naruto LP. 3700 Dimitri LP. 1100, you're going to regret giving me those free cards. Naruto said while drawing. Now though I take 500 points of damage from the 8 Inner Gates spell card, but that won't matter for too much longer since I'll summon out Konoha Jonin. Neji Hyuga. 80. 2200, Def. 2100. Activating his trap card, Dimitri said, I activate Dark Renewal. By tributing my big shield Gardna and your Konoha Jonin. Neji Hyuga can special summon out from my graveyard the Dark Magician. No you won't. As the Dark Magician reappeared to Dimitri's side of the field and Negi vanished, Naruto hummed. I guess I can take him down the old-fashioned way this time. Lee, let him have it. The green-clad ninja charged forward and kicked the Dark Magician hard, depleting another tiny portion of Dimitri's life points. Naruto answered, well, it looks like I'll end my turn there. Naruto LP. 3200 Dimitri LP. 700. You are a skilled duelist indeed, but I won't be beaten here. Dimitri grinned as he pulled his card. I now banish from my graveyard my Dark Magician and my Wadapan in order to special summon from my hand Black Luster Soldier. Envoy of the Beginning. 80. 3000. Def. 2500. Now once per turn I can activate one of these effects, so for this turn I will use the effect that banishes one of your monsters. Now Black Luster Soldier. Remove his Konoha root leader. Danzo Shimura from the game. A void appeared beneath Danzo, who sank into it and was eliminated from play as the Black Luster Soldier flashed forward towards the trapped shinobi and slashed once. I can't attack the turn that I activate this effect, so I end my turn there. Naruto LP. 3200 Dimitri LP. 700 Naruto nodded as he drew and scowled, saying, my turn. Nothing in his hand could match the power of that card, and he knew that letting Lee be the only player left on the field would only make matters worse. I'll summon out Konoha Chunin. Tenten. 80. 1800. Def. 1500. In defense mode and switch Lee to defense mode as well. I'll end my turn there. Naruto LP. 2700 Dimitri LP. 700 as he pulled out his card, Dimitri responded, then it's my turn. Now go Black Luster Soldier. Destroy Konoha Chunin. Rock Lee. The knight charged forward and slashed through Lee, sending him to the graveyard. And now the other effect of my Black Luster Soldier activates, allowing me to attack a second time if I destroy a monster. Now go. The Black Luster Soldier turned on its heel and slashed through Tenten as well, leaving Naruto without any monsters remaining. I'll stop my turn there. Naruto LP. 2700 Dimitri LP. 700 Naruto drew his card and felt the familiar pulse that he always felt when he drew this card. Then this is it, and it's time to end the game. Dimitri scowled and asked, what do you mean? With the biggest smile on his face, Naruto said, let me show you. I'll begin by calling Konoha Genin. Naruto Uzumaki. 80. 1500. Def. 1000. To the field. The younger Naruto suddenly materialized, giving him the thumbs up. But don't get used to seeing that charming face, because now it's time to show you real power, he said. Blinking, Dimitri asked, real power? A power that rivals the gods themselves. Naruto replied, by sending Konoha Genin. Naruto Uzumaki to the graveyard I'm allowed to special summon out Kyuubi no Kitsune. Kurama. 80. 4000. Def. 4000. The giant fox, which towered over them all, appeared, and the air seemed to tremble as the monster card of Naruto vanished in a red swirl. With a growl, Kurama questioned, so you summoned me out finally? And against what exactly? Naruto looked up at the enormous fox and said, and you're just the guy the first need to win. One of the most powerful cards in the game shy of an Egyptian god card. Kurama laughed and said, suck up. Well, what are we waiting for? Then Naruto yelled, game over Dimitri, go Kurama, Bijudama. The kitsune roared and opened its mouth, causing tiny spheres to begin accumulating until it formed a dark sphere that was hurled straight at the Black Luster Soldier, crushing and smashing the warrior. As Dimitri's life points fell to 0, Naruto nodded and said, game, set, match. I lost. Dimitri said, his voice returning to its usual tone, I had the best deck possible and I still lost. From where he and Alexis stood, Zane said, but not without putting up a good fight, and I'm sure everyone here would agree. Dimitri looked around and noticed that scores of students were cheering him on, pleased to have witnessed such a spectacular duel. Dimitri. Do you know why you lost? Naruto inquired as he examined the raw yellow pupil. It's like I've been trying to tell you. A deck knows its owner, and that deck belongs to Yugi Muto. It knew that you weren't him, and despite being able to use it amazingly well in the short time that you had it, it still knew that you weren't him and thus why you lost. You need to make your own deck, your own style. Build a deck that tells the world who you are, not who you are trying to become. That is what makes a great duelist. For several moments, Dimitri gazed at Naruto, and both Zane and Jaden nodded in agreement. Well, since he did so well, how about a consolation prize? Naruto giggled, everyone agreed we don't rat him out. The small group of duelists gathered around Dimitri to discuss how he used the deck and whether he could give them advice on some of the more impressive combos. Agreed, they yelled. Zane told Naruto, that was an impressive card you had there at the end. Naruto showed Zane the card and nodded, saying, Kurama. Yeah, he's one of my favorites. It sounded like you two were talking, he said. We were. Naruto laughed. I've been able to see Kurama ever since his card was made. A duel spirit? As he replaced Kurama in his deck, Naruto smiled and said, something like that. Well, I don't know about you, but I've had enough fun for one night. I'll be heading back now. Make sure the deck goes back. While Naruto walked back to the obelisk blue dorm, a giant kitsune walked beside him, invisible to everyone but one Slifer Red with a winged Karibo. Sure. Zane nodded as he glanced over at the group. Gazing at the cards that were spread out in front of him, Naruto scowled. Though he was still weighing the advantages and disadvantages of the situation, he had been practicing new combo options for one of his decks and was considering switching out some of the cards for others that he kept in its side deck. With a sigh, he put the deck back together and made the decision to put it off until later. He then walked to the window and gazed out at the island. For the most part, everything had been quiet because the students were preparing to represent North Academy in the duel. All of the students were excited to have a chance at being chosen, but word had not yet been received on who North would select as their representative this year. Naruto wasn't particularly worried about being chosen, but he was eager for the opportunity to compete against the other students. He was aware that he would give it his all if selected, and that was that. If he wasn't, his only option would be to support the Duel Academy representative. In any case, Naruto's thoughts remained mostly unchanged as he continued to study and examine his decks to find new ways to make them even more lethal. Naruto always felt that there was more he could do for them, even though his father insisted that he didn't have to do that because his decks were as near to perfect as he had ever seen them. The next day Naruto was heading for class when he saw an extra person trailing behind Jaden and his friends and raised an eyebrow at this as he stopped just ahead of them. As he approached, Jaden smiled and said, Hey Naruto. Naruto nodded to the new child and said, Morning. Who's this? That's Blair. He just transferred in, Jaden explained. That right? Nice to meet you, Naruto said as he offered a hand to the shorter student. Blair nodded, and as Naruto clutched his hand, he scowled and fixed the student with a fierce gaze. Thanks. Naruto. Why are you staring like that? Cyrus inquired worriedly. Naruto turned to face the class and laughed, saying, Huh? Oh, sorry, must have spaced there for a sec. Chumley smiled as they entered, and Naruto walked to his seat, where he scowled once more at his handshake with Blair. Happens to me all the time in class. It might be that Blair took excellent care of his skin or something, but it hadn't been nearly as rough as most men's hands that he had shaken. Naruto put it out of his mind and went into class with his usual minimal effort, enough to pass but not enough to actually cause any trouble. After classes ended, Naruto noticed Blair heading to the obelisk dorm. He scowled as he followed the new student and blinked at him as he climbed a tree and entered one of the dorm rooms. With a sigh, Naruto ascended the tree with relative ease and crouched on the window sill when he noticed Blair grabbing a deck from a cabinet by the bed and holding it close to his face. After getting a loud eep out of the student, Naruto said, You know, trespassing will get you in a lot of trouble here. Naruto grinned and said, Now care to tell me why you snuck in here? And why you were pretending to be a guy? Blair cried out in surprise, How did you know? As he heard people coming, Naruto smiled and said, Now unless you want to get busted, you might want to haul ass and get out of here. I can be very intuitive when I want to be. Blair did indeed haul his ass and jump out of the window, grabbing onto one of the branches and swinging down to the ground. Naruto smirked and moved out of the way. Chuckling, Naruto shut the window and lowered himself to the spot where he followed Blair's retreat before turning to face the girl, who had stopped and was staring at him fearfully and anxiously. Naruto said, So care to answer my earlier questions? She muttered, I'd rather not. Then a wager then. Naruto grinned as he held up a deck. We duel. You win and I stay quiet about what happened today. I win and you tell me the truth about why you were breaking into the obelisk blue dorm. Blair nodded and they both went to get their duel discs. Deal. Naruto entered the dorm and saw that Alexis and Zane were waiting for him as he went to get his. Alexis stated without introduction, Naruto, someone broke into Zane's dorm room. As he passed and ascended to his room, Naruto answered, I know. Saw them and getting the truth out of them in a few moments. You know, Zane frowned and said, Who? That new transfer student, Blair. Replied Naruto. Caught them in the act, but I don't think they're from North Academy. They were way too sloppy about spying, especially since you haven't been chosen yet to be our representative. So why then? scowled Alexis. As he strapped his duel disc to his arm and headed out, Naruto said, "Well, if I win, I'll get that answer. If I lose, we can't turn Blair in." "That right? You think you can? Wait, why am I even asking? You never think you're going to lose," Alexis murmured. "Who does?" Naruto asked, drawing a small laugh from Zane as he walked to a patch of open grass where Blair, Jaden, Cyrus, and Chumley were waiting. "You're Blair's dueling partner?" Jaden inquired. "Did you realize that Blair is a girl?" "Yes, I did, Jaden." Naruto sighed as he walked over and stared down the now revealed girl, her long hair hanging loose. "You look much better without the hat, by the way." As they began their duel discs, she blushed slightly at the compliment and said, "Thanks. Just remember our deal." Laughing, Naruto said, "I know. Duel," both of them yelled. "Blair LP. 4000 Naruto LP. 4000." As Blair pulled out her card, she said, "The first move is mine. And I'll summon my maiden in love. 80. 400, def. 300 in attack mode and then play a card face down before I end my turn." A young girl suddenly materialized, and Naruto scowled at the low stats. Gazing at the card, Cyrus exclaimed, "Wow, she's cute." Nodding, Chumley said, "Yeah. You understand that it's a card, don't you?" As Zane went on to mention Cyrus's childhood crush on the Dark Magician Girl card and how they would be going steady when he grew up, Alexis reminded the two. "Blair LP. 4000 Naruto LP. 4000." As he pulled out his next card, Naruto said, "Then I draw. I summon out Konoha Kiba Inuzuka. 80. 1800, def. 1000. In attack mode." His old friend Kiba and his enormous hound Akamaru appeared in front of Naruto. "Now, Kiba, take out her maiden in love, Gatsuga." Kiba and Akamaru smiled as they sprang forward and transformed into two spinning twisters of destruction, slamming into the maiden. The monster let out a cry of agony, but it remained upright, and Naruto gave it a perplexed look. Blair clarified as the twisters ceased, "As long as Maiden in Love is in attack position, she can't be destroyed in battle, and any monster that battles her gets a maiden token on it." "I understand, but you're missing something. Kiba is capable of 2 attacks. Naruto grinned and said, "Round 2, buddy." Blair's life points took another hit from the twin twisters as the attack resumed. As the trap card materialized, Blair retorted, "And now I activate my trap card, Numinous Healer, which lets me increase my life points by 1000. As Kiba and Akamaru went back to their starting positions, Naruto declared, "I'll end my turn there." Blair LP. 2200 Naruto LP. 4000. Blair drew her card and said, "That hurt, but I'm not done yet. I'll begin by increasing my life points by 1000 by using the spell card Dian Kido the Cure Master. I then use the Cupid Kiss equip spell on Maiden in Love. This allows me to take control of your monster at the end of the damage step if a monster with a maiden counter on it battles Maiden in Love and I sustain damage. Thus, Maiden in Love is now attacking Kiba Inuzuka, his Konoha Chunin." Foreseeing what would happen next, Naruto watched as the attack came. Blair's life points slightly decreased, and Kiba switched sides. Naruto moaned as his mind conjured up a mental image of Kiba gladly doing anything for a cure girl who resembled the Maiden in Love. "Now, Kiba, strike him twice in the face." As the now controlled Kiba and Akamaru crashed into Naruto twice, she exclaimed with delight, "I play a card face down and end my turn." Blair LP. 1800 Naruto LP. 400. Jaden exclaimed, "Whoa, she's got Naruto on the ropes." "Yeah, but she's not doing too great on life points either," Alexis replied. "Controlling his own monster in that face down card," Zane observed, "but she has the advantage. She is going to beat him if he is not careful." Naruto said, "My draw." He drew his next card and looked thoughtfully at his hand. "Well, this should do for now. I'll summon out Konoha Chunin. Sakura Haruno. 80. 2000, def. 1000, in attack mode." The older Sakura suddenly stood with a confident smile on her face. "And then I'll activate her effect, increasing my life points by 500. Sakura turned to face him and restored a small portion of his life points with glowing green hands, even though she couldn't attack this turn. "I'll finish my turn by playing 1 card face down." Blair LP. 1800 Naruto LP. 900. Alexis observed, "Looks like he bought himself some time." "Yeah, though his monster isn't as cute as hers," Cyrus complained. Chumley nodded, "Yeah." Naruto smirked and said, "If the real Sakura heard you say that she would beat you into a coma." They both appeared a little alarmed because the hologram did, in fact, glare at them. Blair declared, "Now it's my turn. I'll use my equip spell, Happy Marriage." This enables me to increase the attack of my maiden in love by focusing on one of your monsters that I control. When the maiden in love's attack reached 2200, Alexis exclaimed in disbelief, "Oh no." Blair exclaimed, "My maiden is attacking now, and he is destroying his monster. Won't be that easy." Naruto laughed. "I activate my trap card, underneath. This negates your attack and destroys your maiden in love." Her foot became stuck in the concealed wire as the maiden hurried forward, lifting her into the air before she was dropped on her head and destroyed. Blair said, "No, that was mean." Naruto grinned and said, "All's fair in love and dueling." Alexis rolled her eyes at Chumli's complaint, "Aw man, he destroyed her." Zane said, "Nicely played counter. Yeah, now he has her. Keep it up, man," smiled Jaden. "Well, I'm not done yet." Blair replied, "I activate my monster reincarnation card. This card lets me add a monster from graveyard after I discard one card from my hand. And since I haven't summoned any monsters this turn, I resummon out my maiden in love in attack mode and then I end my turn." Blair LP. 1800 Naruto LP. 900 Naruto drew and laughed at his card, saying, "This is the end here, Blair. Then let's see what we got." "What?" she inquired, a little alarmed. The younger Sasuke, with his smug stance and uninterested gaze, appeared beside Sakura. "I'll begin by activating my spell card Will of Fire. This allows me to select one of 3 effects, and I decide to special summon one Konoha monster from my hand. So meet Konoha Genin. Sasuke Uchiha. Idik. 1800. Def. 1200. Then I summon out Konoha Genin. Naruto Uzumaki. Idik. 1500. Def. 1000, in attack mode." Blair smirked and said, "Hoping to overwhelm me with numbers?" "Hardly." Naruto laughed, "I'm going to crush you with this. I now play the spell card Team 7. The spell behind the 3 shinobi showed it standing together, with each of the 3 holograms in a ready stance. This card can only be activated when I have Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto on the field, and the way it works is that it destroys all monsters you control and I gain 100 life points for each level of the monsters destroyed. Alright you 3, take them out." As Naruto made a familiar hand gesture to create a clone, Sakura struck first, slamming a fist to the ground to knock the 2 monsters off balance. This knocked them both into the air, where Sasuke sent fireballs flying into them, destroying them. Sakura's hands now glowed green as she placed them next to the real Naruto. "Now let's end this. Sakura, give her a taste of your power." Seismic blow, Naruto laughed. As Sakura hurried Blair and slammed a fist into the girl, destroying the last of her life points, her smile came on in a terrifying way. Naruto nodded and switched off his duel disc, saying, "Game, set, match." "I lost." She moaned as she looked at Naruto, who nodded at her. "Yeah, but not without putting up a good fight," Naruto replied, "so explanation time." Taking her by the shoulder, he moved a short distance away from the others, who appeared perplexed as to why he was preventing them from hearing what she was saying. Naruto turned to face her, nodded in agreement with her, and then nodded his head in their direction as they retreated. Naruto pushed Blair forward a little and said, "Blair has something to say." She blushed a little and said, "Zane, I was the one that broke into your room." The older student nodded. "I see." She went on, I did it because I love you." Alexis blinked in surprise. "What? Yeah." Naruto murmured, "It appears our little lady here has a crush on the best duelist here." Zane calmly returned a hair clip that had fallen off Blair's head when she broke into his room, saying, "Blair, I'm flattered by this, but you need to go home." "Huh? Why does she need to go back? Why can't she just stay in the girls' dorm with the other obelisk blues?" Jaden replied with a scowl. Zane calmly said, "Because she's still in 5th grade." Naruto blinked as he gazed at the girl. "Whoa there. You mean to tell me that this little hot shot that just gave me one heck of a duel is 12? Naruto was speechless. She smiled and said, 12 and a half if it makes you feel better." As Naruto heard Kurama laughing loudly, he said, "Well, I'll be damned. If this is how good you are now, I can't wait to see what you can do later down the road." Jaden smiled and said, "Yeah." As he began to leave, Naruto said, "So who wants to go and break the news to the faculty? Since Blair and I just dueled, I say it's one of you spectators." "Not it," Jaden yelled rapidly, and Chumli and Cyrus did the same. Gazing at Zane, who simply rolled his eyes and left, Alexis smirked and said, "Not it." Naruto and the others were present to bid Blair farewell the following morning. Naruto stood on the pier and waved goodbye, shaking her hand before she departed. "Better be careful, Zane. She's going to be back soon, and from the way she's waving she hasn't given up." Naruto laughed. With a laugh, Zane responded, I won't be here after this year, so it's not my problem. Blair yelled, I'll see you soon, my darling Naruto. Naruto froze, staring back at the vanishing ship. Please tell me I didn't hear that correctly. Oh, you did. Alexis laughed. Seems like she decided that she liked you more than Zane. Zane said, no take-backs, and turned to leave. Naruto sighed and said, oh, that's fantastic. Any suggestions on how to stop her? Alexis smiled and said, oh, you are on your own there. With a smile of his own, Jaden said, or you can just get someone else to beat her in a duel. Naruto sighed, yeah, I'm still not liking my odds there. As the ship disappeared from view, Cyrus sighed, such a shame that the girl with the cute monsters had to leave. As she began as well, Alexis said, just stay away from my monsters. Same goes for the ladies in my decks. Naruto laughed. Last thing they would want is someone drooling over them like that. Chumlee grumbled, why do you have to be so mean, Naruto? Naruto simply suppressed a chuckle as he headed back to his dorm room, but he could now hear 9 distinct voices laughing loudly from the dorms because he was positive that everyone had heard Blair's final screams. As he and Zane made their way to the meeting to choose the Duel Academy representative, Naruto questioned, so why'd I have to be here again? Chancellor Shepard asked for you to be here. Said it was important, said Zane. Why? Do you have something better to do today? Naruto snorted, yeah, sleeping, indeed. As they entered, Zane shrugged and said, you can do that later. Shepard told the two that North Academy would be sending a first-year student as their representative this year after they stood aside to discuss a few small issues. In the spirit of fairness, we shouldn't have Zane participating then, Shepard said. I trust that you're fine with this. Zane nodded and gave Naruto a sly smile while the blonde rolled his eyes, of course. Then that means Mr. Uzumaki will be dueling, laughed Crowler triumphantly. Hey now, I'm not the only freshman with an outstanding dueling record you know, said Naruto. He is correct, said Professor Banner, nodding. Jaden Yuki is also a superb duelist. That's sly for slacker, Crowler exclaimed. We have a perfectly competent duelist already here with Mr. Uzumaki. And he's not the only one. Bastion Misawa is also very skilled, Naruto said, causing the teacher to frown angrily and the other students to laugh. Jaden is competent. He beat you, remember? He is indeed. His only lose was to you if memory serves, Shepard laughed. Since we have 3 candidates for this, why not settle this the old-fashioned way? Raising an eyebrow, Naruto questioned, 3-way duel? Exactly, Shepard said with a nod. I assume you're not whining about this? Naruto smiled, not at all, though. Shepard smiled as he adjourned the meeting, saying, great. Then, we'll arrange for the day after tomorrow. Naruto walked back with Zane and accused him, you knew. I heard mentions of it from a few different professors, said Zane. The question is, are you going to be taking this seriously? A chance to represent the entire school. No way I'm going to play with my food, Naruto said with a grin. It could be tough. They might decide to gang up on you. Maybe, but that just adds to the thrill. Besides, I've dueled each of them once. They know I'm dangerous, but they also know that the other one is as well. Knowing them, they won't focus solely on me, just because they know that it would leave them way too weakened to fight against each other. We'll likely be taking pot shots at each other until we see a fatal opening, Naruto thought. Or we wind up double teaming each other until there is only 2 left. Who knows what Bastion has cooked up. The following day, it was revealed that Naruto, Bastion, and Jaden would engage in a 3-way free for all duel. The victor would be selected to represent Duel Academy against North Academy. The news caused a stir at school because these kinds of duels were uncommon, and it was expected to be even more thrilling to see the top freshman duelists from each dorm compete against one another. Naruto nodded to Bastion and Jaden as they each took their places as they entered the arena, grinning. Bastion cautioned them both, saying, I hope you are ready. My new deck has been designed to take you both down. Bastion, you may be the smartest man in the ring, but that only goes so far in a duel, Naruto replied with a grin. If you think for a second I walked in here with plans on using a deck you have had a chance to analyze, then you have another thing coming. He's right, Bastion. This duel is only just about to start, Jaden laughed. This is going to be so awesome. Welcome students and faculty of Duel Academy, Crowler said as he addressed the venue. Today we will have a 3-way duel to determine the representative for the inter-school match against North Academy. The rules will be the standard free-for-all. No duelist may attack until all 3 have had a turn, and then you may attack whomever you wish. Naruto grinned and turned on his duel disc, saying, this is it, boys. May the best man win. Bastion and Jaden both exclaimed, I intend to, as the duel started. Jaden LP. 4000 LP Bastion. 4000 Naruto LP. 4000. Well, the first move is mine, Jaden said as he chose his 6th card. And I'll start things off by summoning out Elemental Hero Clayman. 80. 800. Def. 2000. In defense mode. Then I'll throw down a face down and end my turn. Jaden LP. 4000 LP Bastion. 4000 Naruto LP. 4000. Then I draw, said Bastion. And start by summoning out Carbonetin. 80. 800. Def. 600. In defense mode. I'll then play 2 cards face down and end my turn. Jaden LP. 4000 LP Bastion. 4000 Naruto LP. 4000. On the defensive already and I haven't even started yet, said Naruto. I'm either flattered by the caution being shown, or disappointed that you both have bad starting hands. Only one way to find out, offered Jaden with a smile. Too true, Naruto said, nodding. So let's see how you handle this deck, shall we? I'll start things off by activating a spell card, Village of the Bloody Mist. Naruto shouted as the card materialized, and a blood-stained mist surrounded the 3 duelists. This spell card can only be activated when my opponents control monsters while I have none. This will allow me to special summon out any monster with Kiri in its name from my hand, so allow me to introduce you both to Kiri Hunter Nin. Haku. 80. 2000. Def. 2000. The mist solidified into the shape of a person standing upright, their face covered by a mostly white mask, and their hands concealed in the long sleeves of their battle kimono. Kiri. Man, you are using a whole new deck, Jaden chuckled. So what does this one do? You're about to find out. Now Haku comes with a very special effect, allowing me to attack every monster on the field once. So Haku, why don't you give them a taste of your demonic ice mirrors? As Haku vanished into a 3rd mirror and resurfaced in the 2 over the monsters, ice started to form above them. Senbon needles were sent into the 2, but Clayman easily absorbed them. Too bad you activated my trap card, Bastion exclaimed. Last magnet. This trap equips itself to your monster, lowering its attack by 800 points. Haku would now be somewhat of a liability until his next turn, especially if Jaden chose to launch an offensive with one of his more powerful heroes, even though Naruto could handle the possible damage for the time being with ease. Naruto said, I'll just end my turn there, Jaden LP. 4000. LP Bastion. 4000 Naruto LP. 4000. The bulkier hero rushed forward and slammed into Bastion with a powerful charge, taking a small chunk of life points with him. And then Sparkman will destroy Haku. Go Shining Surge Flash. Jaden smiled, and summon out Elemental Hero Sparkman. 80. 1600. Def. 1400. In attack mode. I'll switch Clayman to attack mode as well and start this off with Clayman attacking you directly, Bastion. Nice try, Jaden. But since Haku is the only monster that I control, he can't be destroyed in battle, said Naruto. Sparkman made an ice mirror and stepped into it as he directed the electrical blast towards the masked ninja. The lightning then swept over it, taking a few of Naruto's life points with it. Laughing, Jaden said, hey. Well then I'll end my turn there. Jaden LP. 4000 LP Bastion. 3200 Naruto LP. 3600. After drawing his new cards and nodding his head at his hand, Bastion calmly stated, I draw and start my turn by playing the Pot of Greed spell card, letting me draw 2 more cards. I then summon out Oxygen. 80. 1800. Def. 800. In attack mode. Now Oxygen attack and destroy Jaden's elemental hero Clayman, Bastion said. As it struck, the wind-powered dinosaur screeched, blasting the hero with air and sending him straight to the afterlife. I'll end my turn there. Jaden LP. 3000 LP Bastion. 3200. Naruto LP. 3600. Well, then I draw, Naruto said, looking at his hand and smiling at the card he had just drew. Well, boys, it's time we kick this game up a notch. I'll start this off by using the effect of one of this monster in my hand to special summon out said monster. Kiri 7 Swordsman. Zabuza Momochi. 80. 2600. Def. 2000. And equipping him with the spell card Kabikari Hocho, which adds another 700 points to his attack. 80. 3300. Naruto smiled as the man with the giant sword vanished out of view and reappeared behind Sparkman, swinging the enormous sword and destroying the elemental hero. And by the way, every time a monster equipped with Kabikari Hocho destroys a monster, they gain an additional 100 attack points. 80. 3400, he said. And you activated my trap card hero signal. Jaden exclaimed with a grin. This trap lets me special summon out another level 4 elemental hero when one gets destroyed in battle, so I summon out elemental hero Bubbleman. 80. 800, def. 1200, in defense mode, and since he's the only card on my side of the field I get to draw 2 more cards. I see. Well, I'll call it a turn then and hand it off to you, Jaden, Naruto replied. Jaden LP. 1300 LP Bastion. 3200 Naruto LP. 3600. Alright, I draw, Jaden said. And activate my spell card Monster Reborn, to bring back elemental hero Sparkman in attack mode. Then I activate my spell card Polymerization. As his final face. Down card activated, Bastion grinned and exclaimed, "Not so fast, Jaden." I activate my trap card, Cursed Seal of the Forbidden Spell. By sending one spell card from my hand to the graveyard I can destroy the spell card you activated and prevent you from using any other copies of it for the remainder of the duel. As his Polymerization card was destroyed, Jaden exclaimed, "What? Well, that's that. Guess I'll need to come up with a new plan. For now, I'll summon out elemental hero Avian. 80. 1000, def. 1000, in attack mode and equip Sparkman with the Spark Blaster spell card. The winged hero materialized next to the crouching Bubbleman as Sparkman was given his blaster. With this I can switch the battle positions of any monster 3 times before sending this card to the graveyard, so I'll switch the attack positions of both of your monsters." After firing 3 shots, Haku went into attack mode and Oxygeddon and Zabuza both went into defense mode. Naruto smirked and said, "Oh, making the best of this are we?" Jaden grinned and said, "After all, a duel isn't over until the last card is played. I now switch Bubbleman into attack mode, then have Avian attack and destroy your Oxygeddon." Leaping into the air, Avian threw a flurry of feathers into Oxygeddon, sending it to the graveyard. Now Bubbleman, attack him directly. The blue-clad hero aimed his weapons at Bastion, dealing the young genius another minor setback. Now Sparkman, take out Haku. The electricity struck true this time, destroying both Haku and the equipped trap. Okay, I'll throw down one face down card and end my turn. Jaden LP. 1300 LP Bastion. 2400 Naruto LP. 3200. With a flash of light, the wind monster reappeared on the field, appearing noticeably weaker. Then I summon out Hydrogeddon. 80. 1600, def. 1000, in attack mode. Now Hydrogeddon, attack and destroy his elemental hero Bubbleman, Bastion said, drawing his card and simply nodding at his hand. I'll start my turn by playing the equipped spell card Living Fossil. This will let me bring back a monster from my graveyard, but its attack will be dropped by 1000 points and its effects will be negated. So I bring back Oxygeddon in attack mode. As the barrier materialized in front of his monsters, Jaden smiled and said, "And right into my trap card Draining Shield. Now I gain life points equal to your monster's attack points. I'm not going to let you pull off that combo so easily," he said. "So it would seem," Bastion said, looking at Naruto with a slightly worried expression. "I'll have to end my turn there." Jaden LP. 2900 LP Bastion. 2400 Naruto LP. 3200. "Well, since it seems you're trying to bring out the big guns, Bastion, I might as well do the same," said Naruto. "So I'll send the equipped spell card Kiba to the graveyard so I can special summon from my deck Kiri's 7 Swordsman. Raiga Kurasuki. 80. 2400. Def. 2100, in attack mode, then I use his effect to bring Kiba back from the graveyard and equip him with it, giving him an extra 600 attack points. 80. 3000. Unfortunately I can't attack the turn that I use this effect, so I'll switch Zabuza back to attack mode then end my turn there." Jaden LP. 2900 LP Bastion. 2400 Naruto LP. 3200. "My turn," Jaden said. "I'll switch all of my monsters into defense and then throw a card face down, ending my turn." Jaden LP. 2900 LP Bastion. 2400 Naruto LP. 3200. As he drew, Bastion said, "Not a good draw then, Jaden." The Slifer student simply grinned and said, "Well, it doesn't matter now, since this game is about to turn into my favor." "Oh really now?" smiled Naruto. "Yes. Now observe, I start my turn by playing the spell card Mystical Space Typhoon. This allows me to destroy one spell or trap card on the field. And I destroy the Kabikurihocho spell card, weakening your monster." The giant sword was shattered in a flash of lightning, and a storm arose on the field. Naruto questioned, "Well played, but is that going to be enough?" "It will be, especially once I summon out my second Hydrogeddon in attack mode, and then play the spell card Bonding H2O, So now by sending my 2 Hydrogeddons and my Oxygeddon to the graveyard I can special summon out my Water Dragon. 80. 2800. Def. 2600 in attack mode. Naruto merely laughed as he blinked at the enormous beast that had now entered the field. Not bad, but Raiga is still more than enough to bring that beast to its knees. My turn is far from finished, Naruto, Bastion countered with a grin, because now that there are 10 cards atop of Carboneddon I can remove it from play to special summon from my deck Hyozenryu. 80. 2100. Def. 2800. In attack mode as well. Now Water Dragon, destroy Zabuza. Rushing forward, the watery beast slammed into Zabuza, and Naruto couldn't help but note the irony of the situation that even the hologram of Zabuza still got trashed by a giant water dragon. And don't think I've forgotten about you, Jaden. Hyozenryu, attack and destroy his elemental hero Bubbleman. The giant diamond dragon only aimed a prismatic beam at the hero, destroying it instantly. With that I play 1 card face down and end my turn. Jaden LP. 2900 LP Bastion. 2400 Naruto LP. 3000. Well, you weren't kidding about turning things around, Naruto said while drawing his card, but I don't think you've quite grasped how powerful this deck of mine really is. So allow me to give you a demonstration. Demonstration? Bastion asked with a blink. Yeah. I'll start things off by activating the spell card Raiga's Funeral, letting me destroy 1 card on the field and return 1 monster in my graveyard to my deck. So let's say goodbye to Hyozenryu, said Naruto. Beneath the gemstone dragon, a gigantic coffin rose up, dragged it inside, and then descended once more, burying the creature alive and destroying it. Whoa! Jaden exclaimed, blinking in surprise at the monster's devastation. And that's just the beginning, Naruto laughed. I'll then summon out Kiri follower. Renmara. 80. 100. Def. 100 in attack mode. The young boy, who was barely able to stand, appeared beside Raiga. Don't let his looks fool you, he is much more than you think. Now Renmara, equip yourself to Raiga. With a start, Bastion cried, what? A union monster? The older man's cloak covered Renmara as he leapt onto Raiga's back, and Naruto nodded. Renmara can only be equipped to Raiga and he increases his attack and defense by 500 points. 80. 3500. Def. 2600. Now I think you've had your fun, Bastion, but why don't we put that beastie of yours down? Raiga, Thunderfang. Raiga lifted her swords once more and sent lightning streaking up into the clouds that had formed above, then crashing down on the water dragon. As the 2 Hydrogeddons and Oxygeddon emerged on his field, Bastion exclaimed, not bad. But when my water dragon is destroyed I get to special summon from my graveyard the 3 monsters that were used to make it. Clever, Naruto acknowledged. I'll end it there. Jaden LP. 2900 LP Bastion. 1700 Naruto LP. 3000. I draw, Jaden said as he examined his hand, and activate the field spell Skyscraper. With this field spell, if one of my heroes battles a monster stronger than them they gain an extra 1000 attack points. So now Avian attack and destroy one of the Hydrogeddons. Not so fast, said Bastion. I activate my trap card Amorphous Barrier. If I have 3 monsters on my side of the field I can end the battle phase. Jaden laughed and said, hey, nice save Bastion. I'll have to end my turn there. Jaden LP. 2900 LP Bastion. 1700 Naruto LP. 3000. I draw, Bastion said, frowning anxiously. So far, after Naruto threw the curveball that was his Kiri deck, all of his calculations had gone awry. He didn't know nearly enough about it to try to lock it down like he had with Jaden's fusions, and it was too strong to take on head on. His most recent draw would help postpone the worst for a little while longer, but it couldn't do much. The muddy beast opened its mouth and sent a blast of water into the winged hero, taking a few life points with it. Then I have Oxygeddon attack and destroy Sparkman. The winged monster repeated its previous battle with the electrical hero and returned it to the graveyard, saying, I'll end my turn there. I summon the mathematician, 80. 1500. Def. 500, in defense mode and use his effect to send 1 card from my deck to the graveyard. Then I switch one of my Hydrogeddons to defense mode while I have my remaining 1 attack your elemental hero Avian. Jaden LP. 2100 LP Bastion. 1700 Naruto LP. 3000. Naruto said, my turn then, and nodded. Jaden left him a bait, and he was tempted to fall for it. Only his field spell and 1 face-down card remained, and he had no monsters. Although it was alluring, Bastion knew that Jaden had a secret and didn't want to be the one to reveal it, just as he hadn't used his advantage. Meanwhile, Bastion had a formidable defense in place, but nothing that Raiga wasn't currently capable of handling. A moment of thought later and he had his answer on what he was going to do. "It's been fun, Jaden, but I'm taking you out." "Raiga, attack Jaden directly," Naruto ordered. As his final face down card activated, Jade chuckled. "I won't go down that easily. I activate my trap card, a hero emerges. Now go ahead and pick a card. If it's a monster card, I get to special summon it to the field." After a moment of staring at the two cards, Naruto pointed to the one on my left. Jaden laughed as the dark hero emerged to shield him from the electrical attack. "You picked elemental hero Necroshade. 80. 1600, def. 1800, in defense mode," he said. "Well, looks like you're safe for another turn, Jaden. Don't waste it." Naruto simply nodded in agreement. Jaden LP. 2100 LP Bastion, 1700 Naruto LP, 3000. "I don't intend to," Jaden said with a chuckle. "Cause now I summon out elemental hero Burstinatrix. 80. 1200, def. 800, and then activate my spell card Burst Impact." Naruto moaned, already speculating about what would happen. "Oh no. Oh yeah. With this spell, all monsters on the field that aren't Burstinatrix get destroyed and their owners take 300 points of damage for each monster that they lost." Jaden laughed. "So let him have it, Burstinatrix." Every monster in its path was destroyed as a wave of fire swept across the field with a fiery blast. "Well, thank you for that, Jaden. Because with Mathematician destroyed I get to add a card from my deck to my hand," Bastion replied. "And my turn isn't finished yet. Now Burstinatrix attack Naruto directly." As the fireball struck him and took a significant number of life points with it, Naruto only sighed. "I'll end my turn there." Jaden LP. 2100 LP Bastion, 500. Naruto LP. 1500. After drawing his card, Bastion sighed and said, "I'll play a card face down and end my turn." Jaden LP. 2100 LP Bastion, 500 Naruto LP, 1500. Naruto nodded and said, "My turn. And I'll start it off by playing the same card that started this whole thing off. Village of the Bloody Mist." The mist spread out over the field once more before solidifying into a completely different shape than it had before. This one had a weapon of some sort on their back and was shorter. The small cage jumped forward in front of Burstinatrix, where he struck with his club and used one of the hooks to cut the woman in two before swinging the weapon around to send a blast of wind into Jaden, knocking him back a step in surprise. "Let me introduce Kiri Yondaime Mizukage. Yagura. 80. 3000. Def. 2500. Now, Yagura, why don't we repay Jaden's kindness and take out his elemental hero Burstinatrix? Go." Jaden LP. 300 LP Bastion, 500 Naruto LP, 1500. As he pulled out his card, Jaden chuckled. "Man, you just keep busting out these awesome cards. You're no slouch yourself. Despite the handicap on you, you've managed to keep us on our toes. You are no one-trick pony," said Naruto. Bastion freely confessed, "Yes, you have surpassed even my calculations." "Ah, thanks guys," Jaden chuckled. "It's been fun, but I don't plan on losing now. So I'll play my spell card Miracle Fusion." "Ha!" Bastion's eyes widened, and Naruto laughed. "With this card I can remove from play monsters in my graveyard or field that can be used for a fusion summon. So I remove elemental heroes Avian, Bubbleman and Sparkman in order to bring out elemental hero Tempest." 80. 2800. Def. 2800. Jaden laughed when the powerful fusion appeared in front of him. "Now let's go Tempest. Destroy Yugora." "Nice try, Jaden, but I activate Yugora's effect. This lets me negate one attack and destroy all monsters my opponent controls. Granted, I can't have him attack or use this effect again for 2 turns, but since this is the endgame I don't think it's too high a price. Now make those mirrors Yugora." Only when a water mirror materialized in front of the attack and redirected it directly back at Tempest did Yugora raise the club. As the field spell was destroyed, Jaden retorted, "Hey, then I'll just use Tempest's effect to keep him from being destroyed by giving up Skyscraper." However, his hero remained, saying, "Guess I have to end my turn there." Jaden LP. 300 LP Bastion, 500 Naruto LP, 1500. As he pulled out his card, Bastion laughed and said, "Hey, I guess it was a good thing you both decided to ignore me this past turn. You've given me time to prepare." Naruto let out a groan. "Oh crud." Bastion drew 2 more cards and his smile returned with full force. "Yes, I activated the spell card Pot of Greed to add 2 more cards to my hand again. And now I have everything that I need." I activate the ritual spell card Litmus Doom Ritual, and send the water dragon from my hand to the graveyard to ritual summon Litmus Doom Swordsman. 80. 0. Def. 0. In attack mode, Bastion said. As the second water dragon was sacrificed, the altar appeared behind Bastion. Naruto was taken aback by the Litmus Doom Swordsman's stats, raising an eyebrow at the 0 he saw. This now lets me activate my face-down card Spirit Barrier, Bastion said. Now as long as I have a monster on the field I won't take any battle damage and Litmus cannot be destroyed in battle, and as long as a trap card is active on the field Litmus Doom Swordsman's attack increases to 3000. Naruto said, raising an eyebrow. Well, good to see you haven't given up, but he also pointed out that you only have one chance at this. Maybe. But from what I have seen of your deck it won't take more than this to remove your last and best defense. Go Litmus Doom Swordsman, destroy Yugura. As the monster swung its twin blades at Yugura, Naruto scowled. Yugura retaliated, but it was in vain as the young cage was destroyed. With that I end my turn. Jaden LP. 300 LP Bastion. 500. Naruto LP. 1500. Then let's see if you picked right, Naruto said as he drew an across his face. Game over boys. I'll start off by summoning out Kirichunin. Gazu. 80. 1500. Def. 1000, and when he's summoned I get to special summon out Kirichunin. Maizu. 80. 1500. Def. 1000, and when these two are on the field together they both get a 580 point boost. 80. 2000. Those two are hardly strong enough to finish off either of our monsters, Bastion grumbled. Who said I was finished? Naruto retorted, because it's time for me to introduce you to the bringer of your destruction. Since Yugura is now in the graveyard, I can now special summon out his successor, so let me introduce you to Kiri Godem Mizukage. Meitarumi. 80. 2800. Def. 2300. The red-headed cage appeared between the two Oni brothers with a confident smirk on her face. Now don't go thinking that she's all beauty and no brawn, because she comes with a powerful effect. Once per turn I can have her destroy every monster my opponent controls, at the cost of her not being able to attack. So Mei, why don't you give them a taste of your skilled mist technique? Naruto ordered, as Mei stepped ahead of the two other monsters and released a stream of mist from her mouth, engulfing Litmus Doom Swordsman and Elemental Hero Tempest and melting them before they were destroyed. As the two brothers leapt to their respective targets and expended their remaining life points, Naruto exclaimed, and now that the way is clear, Gazu attack Jaden directly while Maizu attacks Bastion. Game, set, match. And Naruto Uzumaki is the winner of the 3-way duel, exclaimed Crowler. Naruto approached the other two and shook their hands while grinning as the older professor carried on talking for a while. Great duel, he introduced it. Jaden chuckled and said, hey yeah. Man, that Kiri deck is something else. Indeed. It seems to rely on special summoning powerful monsters and destroying your opponent's monsters outside of the battle phase, Bastion replied. Pretty spot on. Naruto replied, but you didn't see every trick that this deck has. So what are the odds of us dueling again so we can see them? Jaden inquired. As he began, Naruto answered, at the moment, not too good. I'm starving. I could use something to eat as well, acknowledged Bastion. As the three of them left, laughing and comparing notes regarding the combos they had each used in that duel, Jaden said, yeah.
That's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this great story. See you in the next one.